everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Red Zone, our very own sports show brought to you by This is Revolution Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Miles, and I'm thrilled to have you with us this evening. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We're so glad you're here. For our returning listeners, subscribers, and our very valued patrons, hell yeah! You are the driving force behind the TIR machine. We couldn't do this without y'all. For our patrons, don't forget to check out the Crisis Papers. Issue 5, second time around. Musings on how we got Donald Trump's re-election. It's the latest installment. There is a new one coming soon. Very, very soon. How soon? I don't know. But probably in the next few days. But tonight we're going to ask the question, are the Kansas City Chiefs, I just want you to know, just saying this out loud is causing heartburn and acid reflux. Are the Kansas City Chiefs the greatest NFL franchise of all time? The speculation is over. We now know who will face off in the biggest game of the year. The Super Bowl will be a rematch of just a few years ago. A very dramatic contest where the Kansas City Chiefs edged out the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35. This time, history's on the line. Can the Chiefs become the first team in the Super Bowl era to win 3 consecutive championships? Or will the Eagles complete their improbable season fueled by the electrifying athleticism of free agent acquisition Saquon Barkley? For many outside of Kansas City, the Chiefs' recent dominance raises questions beyond their on-field performance. Some believe the NFL actively favors the team subtly, I can't talk, tilting officiating decisions in their favor to ensure their continued success. While conspiracy theories about league interference are nothing new, the perception of biased officiating persists, especially given the sheer number of controversial calls that have seemingly benefited the Chiefs at crucial moments. Regardless whether these claims hold water, Kansas City has undeniably capitalized on every opportunity presented to them. At the helm of this dynasty is Andy Reid, long regarded as a quarterback whisperer and offensive mastermind. But in addition to his tactical acumen, Reid has cultivated an identity that stands in stark contrast to the dour, authoritarian style of past coaching greats like Bill Belichick. With his relaxed, affable demeanor, Reid shrugs off media frenzy, even as his star tight end, Travis Kelce, finds himself in the glaring spotlight of pop culture due to his relationship with Taylor Swift. The relative isolation of Kansas City, far from the coastal media hubs, may shield the team from the more suffocating aspects of 24-hour sports coverage, allowing them to focus on football rather than manufactured drama. Some argue that the Chiefs' sustained success in the so-called era of parity is nothing short of extraordinary. But has the NFL ever truly been a league of competitive balance? Before Kansas City's rise, the sport was dominated by a familiar rotation of teams, the Patriots, the Colts, and later the Broncos and the Steelers. Is this a matter of talent monopolization within the constraints of the salary cap, or is it simply the result of elite organizations managing to retain top-tier coaching and front office personnel? Regardless of the era, we haven't seen dominance like what the Chiefs are accomplishing in almost 20 years with the Patriots. It seems strange to think that a franchise like the Chiefs, who for the last 40 years have always been so close to getting to the big game, are now penciled in as the AFC slot for the Super Bowl every year. We may not have the answers to all these, but it's certainly going to be a fun discussion. Please welcome my good friend, co-host of this show, and he gets to brag a little bit because his Ohio State Buckeyes are national champions for the first time in a long time. And I do want to call him out because he told me after they lost to Michigan that he was going to beat up Ryan Day on site. Please welcome Mac.
I'm back, everybody. I am back. And see, my threat of violence against him is what
It's-
into the sustained success that we had in the playoff. So I'd like to just pat myself on the back for a job well done and say, Ryan Day, you're free from physical violence from me until the next Ohio State Michigan game. You know, oh gosh.
Want to read that comment?
Mac, we need a wellness check on Jason. Last week got real dark when he appeared to be on a frothed raw milk bender and most likely fell asleep that night with his massage gun in his mouth. That wasn't Jason. That was RFK Jr. Tonight, Mercutio, you actually saw something far in the future because after that confirmation hearing today, he's going to bang out every one of his fucking teeth trying to poke his brain with that massage gun.
I did have the massage gun earlier because I hurt my shoulder.
Yeah.
But that was a great national championship game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, after the first 2 weeks, like of the playoff, I was like, man, and then we got Texas, which I knew would be rough. But, playing against Notre Dame, I think Will Howard probably got himself into the league with that game. Before this, I can maybe see like a UFL guy, but he made all the right calls. Like I mean, can we honestly just get it out there that Jeremiah Smith might be the best player in college football right now?
Yeah.
Texas had the right idea, blanket covering him. But he made plays against Notre Dame. Trevion Henderson, I think, is probably the unsung hero, kind of, because every time he touches the ball, he was a threat to break away. And then Quinshon just showed up in that national championship game in a way that he didn't in the first three. And I love when he had that stiff arm and just mauled that dude to get in for that touchdown. I was like,
that was crazy.
I was like, this is it. And Judkins is not like a heavy dude. I think they said he weighed like 215, but he runs like he weighs 250 pounds, man. I just whether you can say, well, it's a team that $20 million bought. Well, dude, I hate to tell you, every team's doing it now.
Every team's doing it. Like,
right.
let's stop going. Dion went crazy with a million trillion transfer portal people. The new college football, I don't know what it's going to look like 5 years from now. I think this is a new phase and people are trying to figure it out.
Bro, with the NCAA or the House v. NCAA case being settled and schools having to dole out $25 million every year to athletes, I think what you're probably going to see, especially from smaller schools, is jerseys that look a lot like European or Japanese baseball jerseys. You're going to see ad sales so they can generate revenue. You're going to see probably more shit like Pitbull. It's really just really great seeing Jason and Max streaming together, talking a little bit of sports ball before the dick and fart jokes. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of shit going on, guys. Someone mauled my car pretty bad. The one I bought in August. And it's in the shop until March because, General Motors in their infinite fucking wisdom was like, hey, we're going to sell these cars in the United States, but not front load parts for repairs. So they have to be ordered from South Korea. Yay! And then I spent like 2 weeks getting rides and Lyfts and Ubers. And I had a bro come up and is like, hey, man, you can use my car. Don't sweat it. You don't have to pay me. So I was like,
that's a damn good friend.
Yeah, dude. And it's because he knows that I barely drive.
Regardless.
Like I go to the gym, I go to work, I go see my kids, I come home, and I live in like a 15-minute bubble. Like, I don't give a fuck, but he's like, yeah, dude, just as long as you need it. And I was like, well, I appreciate it, man. Are you going to be like put out of a car? And he bought like a 2-seater, like BMW Z series.
Yeah.
So like
woman's car.
Oh, dude, he loves it, man. He fucking loves it. And he just fixed it up, Jason. So he's like so pumped to be driving it.
Between that and the Miata.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to hate on anybody. All right. Because I don't even have wheels right now.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk shit. I'm still
You know,
riding this 2007 with no oil change in the last 8 million miles.
Do not say that in front of me because I will bypass my Ryan Day hate directly. Only because you know what I saw on, so we took I'm not even kidding, Jason, a fucking 2024 Challenger. This was the last year they're making the Challenger, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the dude just heard the engine pinging, just which means the engine's gonna go. Well, we're like, hey man, like my boss did the appraisal and was like, I'm only gonna give you like $1,200 for this car. And he's like, well, why? He's like, the engine's getting ready to go. It's like a duty, and it has that big block V8 in it.
Yeah.
Never did an oil change. Had 24,000 miles on it.
That's not even that many miles.
Yes, it is for not changing your fucking oil.
Oh, Mac.
It's just stop.
And
don't give me the poor destitute musician thing, okay? It's not that hard to change your fucking oil.
You know what makes it worse? My neighbor walked over and I was asking, I was like, oh, where can I get an oil change real quick? Because I had to drive up. This is right before I drove up for the holidays to see my children.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's been a while. And he goes, you get it changed right in my yard. And I still,
dude, slip the dude $20 and get your fucking oil changed. All right, listen, chat. I need $20 in super chats so Jason get his fucking oil changed. God,
right? He's like, just right here. We'll do it right. Why would you go somewhere to get it done? He goes, just go buy the oil and we'll just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that hard, man.
No.
Fuck. I mean, granted, he might dump the oil out like in the back alley or something, which isn't
alley. It's just dirt. We don't have roads here.
Where we're going,
shit over.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, where we're going, give a fuck. If you could see the litter, it's hilarious. And when people get tired of it, what happens? Someone lights it on fire.
Oh God. And we wonder why the planet's burning.
Oh, definitely. I can point to so many people that it's his fault.
Well, dude, it was funny. Like, I was talking to a couple of my buddies that had to evacuate the fires, right? And he ends up going to like this high school gym, and they immediately had a medical screening there. First for burns, and then they were for respiratory issues. And he's like, why? They're like, bro, you know what happens when a house catches on fire? All that fake shit in it goes up in smoke and you breathe it in.
Yes.
And they're like, it's highly poisonous. And they were like, I never thought about that. I'm like, dude, you're not a veteran, but you have went on rants, like literally hour-long rants about exposure to burn pits. I'm like, that's a fucking fire of the magnitude in California times like 1 million. Compared to what I breathed in when I was burning everything, so it's just like, dude, we're probably going to see a whole generation of Californians from that area that have horrible respiratory problems. And that's the sad part. And now that we're not even going to get access to like Medicare or Medicaid anymore because, Doge is going to cut away at that shit. We're all just going to die.
That is, I'm actually kind of a little worried about how powerful that might be. I will say this though, when I lived in West Oakland, it was way worse with the garbage burning because the cheap furniture people get at places like IKEA, they would throw that stuff. So I think I told you about this, right? So people on like Craigslist will advertise, hey, we'll clean out your junk.
Yeah.
So, remodels, construction jobs, but they would throw that stuff on our street all the time. People, so much information of people's stuff. Like old driver's licenses would always just be like,
Yeah.
right, like all that shit. But all that cheap furniture, people would light on fire to like keep warm. It really did look like those scenes from those movies where the garbage cans are on fire and there's people like standing around. And so when they burn that shit, that is the grossest smell.
Oh yeah, it's all
And you
chemically treated
cannot go
stuff.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just chemicals.
I mean, guys, just breathe it in. You smell that? That's called late stage capitalism. It smells like burning IKEA furniture.
Your convenience furniture that is shit that you can't move with because it'll just break.
Yep. Yep.
Just the sea of DVD and CD racks.
Oh yeah. Dressers that used to have 4 drawers, but now they only have 2.
Oh, so much of that. And then all the clothes that people buy that they wear once that the thrift stores won't buy.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'll have to. I do have photos that we would take. I had a friend. He actually is a guitar tech for Slayer. he actually took pictures for like 5 years to show how crazy it gotten over that time. Insane.
Yeah. What else is insane is the fucking Dodgers spending spree. And then you know who spoke up about it of all people tonight? Hal Steinbrenner. Like, bro,
my father once told me.
My dad said, if they outspend you, you're a failure. And I'm failing right now. So I have to find new means of revenue. So now it's going to be the New York Yankees, brought to you by JP Morgan Chase. Jamie Dimon's giving me one hell of a sponsorship deal.
Wait, Matt, can you read this thing on the...
I no longer want to drive a Challenger because that gooner from New Mexico who deleted himself ruined the integrity of that vehicle, for fuck's sake. Hope this $10 goes to Jason's oil change fund.
So I don't know if you know this, Macadocious, but I know it started in Spokane, and I guess this happened in either Arizona or New Mexico. But there's these drive-through cafes where the baristas are in bikinis.
Yeah, we got one in Raleigh now.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's called Boobs and Brews.
Oh, it just sounds horrible. It makes Hooters sound like a reputable establishment.
Twin Peaks made Hooters sound like a reputable establishment, okay?
So I don't know if you saw this. This guy pulls up to the window and he's full hog. He's got his hog out.
Oh.
And the chick sees him, and you see you don't see his hog, but you hear the woman go, "Sir, that is," she's like, disrespectful or something like that. And then the guy goes, "Oh," and he drives off, and he fucking killed himself.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What, did he like hit another car?
Blew his brains out.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Crazy. So these kids had a gooneral.
A gooneral?
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. That's a combination gooner and funeral.
Yep.
Oh, no.
And they were protesting the goonicide.
The goonicide.
Mm-hmm.
The goonicide.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd heard it all.
Not even close.
No.
Not even
close. The goonicide. Yeah. Like, okay, listen, if you want to like gooning, if you want to do that, the privacy of your own home is one thing. I think it's a standing show rule. What you do in your house sexually between yourself or another consenting adult is your business. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Not at all.
Unless you call me a rummist again, then I'm gonna fucking.
Then you're gonna get gooned on national TV.
Oh, dude, I am gonna make fun of whatever I will dig into your life, find out what your sexual predilections are, and just make fun of them the entire evening
while you're gooning.
Yeah, I mean, I like to multitask. You know, like fuck.
Mercutio says the gooneral, asses to asses, bust to bust.
Here lies somebody who couldn't bust. Oh, gross.
Because I nut quick.
Bam, all of them.
That was a good one. I mean, that was clever wordplay. Like, even if you don't like us, you have to admit that. There's like somebody hate watching right now. Like, man, that black dude and that stupid white guy, they're funny sometimes.
They're funny, god damn it, while they're gooning. Good.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta stop.
Don't come.
Norm wouldn't be happy with me right now.
The
thing
gooner.
is, he's gonna come on for a real show one time, right, on TIR, and he's gonna be like, Jason, I saw something on the internet where you're making fun of me saying gooning. That sounds like a horrible practice. Why would anybody deny themselves an orgasm?
I don't know why. You see, Prairie Fire says he only hate watches this program. That's
Hey,
good to know.
You know
It's
what?
good to know.
At least you have it out there, Prairie. Like, I'd rather know where I stand with you than not. It's always good. It's always good to know where you stand with people.
You did miss the return of Joey.
Joey came back. Good for Joey.
Came back, dude. Fucking Joey came back.
Did you give him my heartfelt apology?
I had you been here, I'm sure a third of the show would have been apologizing to Joey.
Now, what I need to know is if he's still with her.
I don't think he mentioned that. Joey, if you're watching right now, wink once. If you're with her, blink twice. If you're alone.
Well, if you're alone, you don't have to wink. You could just say, I've been crying, Mac and Jason, because she dumped me after you made fun of her. And then Jason and I will feel bad for the rest of our natural lives.
Or at least 45 minutes.
Maybe an hour, depending.
Yeah, a good hour of like, damn.
Yeah.
And then you think you're over it, and then it hits you again. You're just like, oh. Damn.
Yeah, and then Jason and I put our foot in our mouth by saying, Joey, you deserve better. And then they get back together, and it starts a whole new thing. It's just,
Then we're just good. That's when it goes downhill.
Yeah.
That's when it goes downhill.
Yeah.
You can't talk shit about somebody to your friends and then get back with them and expect your friends to like them.
That's right. Or even the two idiots you watch on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah, we're going to hate that, Bron.
Yeah.
Or that dude. If you are the one woman that watches this show, the one of 5.
Yeah. One of which is Jason's mom, who I know she hates this show.
I can see her hate watching the show.
Yeah.
And thinking to herself, why? I only had one child, and I can't even brag to my friends about this.
I mean, he did the musician thing.
Definitely couldn't brag to my friends about that.
Yeah, and now he's doing this hosting, podcasting thing. You know what? Your mom probably goes to like brunch. All right. Or maybe just to get a coffee. And she's like, I hate my son so much, but I can never tell him that.
Oh no, she could do it in all kinds of ways. She's like Bubba Gump with it. I can hate my son all kinds of ways.
Yeah. Sounds like our moms would get along way too well.
Probably. That's like the Thelma and Louise that no one wants to see.
No, it would just be them in the convertible driving off the cliff because they missed the turnoff, bitching about us the entire time.
My mom apparently, like, I don't know what algorithm has to hit for her to know that I'm on, but sometimes I'll see her pop in, and there's a handful of people that know who she is because we don't have the same name. And I'm always like, oh God, what have I done to disappoint this person now?
God, I don't believe in why have you forsaken me?
Yeah.
It's just he's just up there smoking a cigarette, like, yeah, you're gonna ask that now.
Like, well, I told you. I showed her a picture of the book. I Was a Teenage Anarchist, right? And I was all excited when I got my copy, and I sent her a picture, and her response wasn't congratulations or anything. She just replied, I would say 6 months in, you were one of those. 6 months.
Wow.
That was her reply.
On a heavier note, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: if you imbibe, if you drink, if you smoke weed, please don't get behind the wheel of a car. My cousin decided to do that and killed himself and hit somebody else early yesterday morning. So please.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
I grew up with him, but I haven't spoken to him in like 20 years because he just turned into a ne'er-do-well.
Yeah.
But I feel horrible for my aunt. She lost her kid. But don't do that. Just be smart. Like, go out, have fun, be smart. There's your PSA from Mac. Please be smart.
In America, there's Ubers everywhere.
In Fayetteville, they're hard to get.
Are they?
Yeah, dude. Once I got picked up from the bar, the guy didn't feel like driving into my neighborhood. He just drops me off, and I walk 2 miles back home. By the time I got to the house, dude, I was so sober, I was pissed. I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Well, we're doing an opposite of what we usually do, where we usually talk about the thing and then go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
I just want to say, as a Broncos fan, it's hard for me to talk about the Chiefs in a positive light. Anyone in division.
Hey, I know that, but you found your QB of the future.
Yeah.
Who is, I don't know how you don't make him. I shouldn't say that.
What?
He's definitely in the running for like offensive rookie of the year finalist.
Offensive rookie of the year for the AFC, definitely.
Yeah. Like he was just phenomenal, especially late in the season.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I figured there'd be more growing pains because like Sean Payton has a notoriously difficult playbook. But by the end of the season, it looked like Bo Nix had been running it for like 2 fucking years, man.
Mims made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, so like I think the Broncos are set up. Once they get the Russ money off the books, they're going to be set up to make some big stabs in free agency. They're set up, man. They got a lot of young pieces locked into the rookie deals. You plug a couple names around there. I mean, dude, they're in the running for the West, right?
I don't know, mainly because I think the Chiefs are that good. Because I can't remember a team. If I go back to my football time, and I'll be honest, I'm about 86, 87 is when I'm really watching football seriously, and I dove in the deep into the pool. I wanted to be a scout forever. So watching the Niners play, there was dominant play, and statistically, they were generally dominant with players like, even in the early days, Freddie Solomon, and then by the time a guy like Roger Craig got there, really revolutionizing the running back position when the West Coast offense was still relatively new, and that Bill Walsh coaching tree hadn't really branched out, so to speak.
Dude, Roger Craig is like, he'd be killing it now.
Oh God, the game now. Reggie Bush, Christian McCaffrey, those guys owe their life to Roger Craig.
They ran because Roger Craig crawled. And by crawled, I mean he ran like a 4.2 40, was able to catch the passes like a wide receiver, and he ran over folks.
Okay? Roger Craig had like 100 catches one year.
Yeah. Like that was the year he led the league in yards from scrimmage, correct?
Yeah, he had 1,000 receiving and 1,000 rushing.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a bad rap because he was a fumbler. And I think he comes out in an era, because he came out the same year as Eric Dickerson, actually.
Yeah, and see, that's not really fair. And he also gets the you couldn't really load up against him because you had John Taylor and Jerry Rice.
They didn't have John Taylor much later, but still,
you know what I mean.
And I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and on top of that, it was a perfect offense because what did Bill Walsh use to amazing effect? A fullback.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Rathman ran the ball well. He caught the ball well and was a bulldozer in blocking. It was a phenomenally constructed team for what he wanted to do. Okay, Andrew, you're just going to have to pipe down there for a second, bud. All right. Just go have some cheese. Go have some cheese curds. All right. Calm down. Grab a brewski, I know it's kind of rough there right now. With the Bucks just kind of fumbling all over the place, just like the Packers did in the playoffs. But Gonna chase Giannis out of town. It's the only grape we like up here. It's cold.
That was actually pretty good. Yeah, Tony Red, look, the 55-10 beating of the Broncos. That team that the Broncos played, I was not confident, but I do remember, I think that was my 7th or 8th grade year of junior high.
Yeah, Jason didn't go to school for 3 days after that because the beating was so bad he felt it.
Dude. My dad had got me from you didn't have a Big Five sporting goods place where you're from, did you? Or something similar to that?
Fuck no.
It's one of those sporting good places where they have like that bargain bin where there's just shit in there for like, in the bargain bin was a Broncos hoodie and it was fucking creamsicle orange.
And was the bargain bin.
Oh, it was a Broncos hoodie. It was creamsicle orange and no one was wearing it. And my dad got it for me because he's a wonderful man. And I was like, I'm going to wear this anyway. Oh,
man, you just got your balls crushed, didn't you?
Oh my God. They're still teasing me to this day.
Well, I mean, yeah, because dudes, you ask them what they eat for breakfast, they couldn't tell you, but they're like, oh man, I gave Jason shit June 2nd, 1989. You know, like, it's like, fuck you, dude. How do you remember calling me a fucking meat fiend? You know? But I ask when your anniversary is, you're like, I don't know, man. She lets me know like a week prior and I just get her a gift. Fucking dude.
It was like I had shared something about the Broncos winning a Super Bowl on social media, and a friend of mine who I haven't talked to easy 15 years somehow saw that and said, you know, Jay, you're a real one because you've been with them fools since we was giving you shit back in the day. I was like, yeah.
Okay, hold up, Chef Naj. There's sports in Cleveland. Bet your sweet ass there is, all right? I can't help it the Browns suck. That's not the fault of anybody in Cleveland.
But there had to be like a sporting goods store.
There was, man. And the thing is, you can buy like team gear almost anywhere. Like they have it in Giant Eagle, dude, a grocery store.
But do they have a sporting goods store like at a shopping mall where there was a table?
Yeah, man.
Shoes.
But it was always like in a little like, yeah, Modell's is one. You always had like the independent one in the mall. You know, that was like you know, like the Sport Zone, you know, with like
yeah.
You know.
Was that the place that sold like black Negro League hats?
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah.
and
they're still open somehow, but they're like really just leaning into like the retro unis. You know,
but because they're bootleg as fuck and the markup is crazy.
Oh, dude, yeah. But did I go there? Fuck yes, I did.
Of course you did. Where else were you going to get your Bugs Bunny with the gold chain t-shirt?
Yeah, with the like dressed like crisscross.
Yeah.
Backwards.
With your black Bart Simpson fucking. Where else were you going to get that shit?
Exactly. That's right. The Sports Zone, Riv. That's right. You know. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You know, we're talking about competitive balance in professional sports. Jason and I determined last week that Elway just broke the brains of Ohio sports fans in the 80s. You know what, Tony? Not going to lie about that. I mean, there's truth to it. And the thing is, you got to think in the 80s, the only thing that we really had going was the fucking Browns. I mean, granted, the Cavs picked it up in the late 80s, and then they hit this thing called, I don't know, Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You know? Which killed us. And then they went into this pattern of being coached by Mike Fratello, which would give us like 45, 50 wins a year. But we played the grossest, most boring form of basketball. And that's saying something coming out of the 80s and into the 90s. Like, I think when the Cavs came in second and only averaged like 86 points a game, but they only allowed like 78. It was the most boring shit you ever watched. And And then, the Guardians became like the talk of the town once the Browns left. And, we set the league record for most sellouts, right? But between Elway breaking the brains of every Cleveland sports fan, doesn't matter if it was kids or not, like there are like 80-year-old men that still haven't recovered from the drive or Red Right 88, But, we've kind of had a renaissance. Cleveland, the Guardians have won, I think, the third most games in Major League Baseball since 2016.
I didn't know that.
The Cavs won in 2016. We had Stipe, who's from Northeast Ohio, was UFC heavyweight champ. The only real letdown that we've had is the fucking Browns. I'm saying
The
that
Chiefs can say similar things. I mean, they had what? Did they win any World Series with George Brett?
Didn't they win in like the
remember.
early 80s?
I feel like they did. I feel like I cursed myself. There's a great venue. I don't know if it exists anymore. I think it was called like the Record Store in Kansas City. And I remember we played there and we were like hot. It was when I was in LaFin and we were like hot at this time. So there was like hella people there. And I was and I totally had forgot about it. I had totally forgot about it. I was wearing a Giants hoodie.
You talked shit about George Brett, didn't you?
Worse.
Oh, God.
Worse. I had a Giants hoodie on and I took it off and I laid it on a monitor. I didn't think anything of it. I really forgot where I was. Played the show. It was cool. We're selling merch. It was like a really good night, right? The owner of the venue came up and was like chatting us up. He was like, "Oh, dude, that was really cool," and blah, 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 blah. Having this great night. This dude walks up to me and he goes, "I was really digging you guys until you threw that fucking Giants hoodie on the thing." It's like, fuck you to me. Because this is the year the Giants had beat the Royals in the World Series.
Oh.
I totally forgot about it. And he thought I was being a dick. And usually I am that dick.
Yeah.
But I would have just played in the shirt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Royals won in 2015. I think it was 2015. Thank you, Virtuoso. Yeah. But like, yeah. And here's the thing with the Chiefs. They went through a lot of years of just mediocrity, right?
Yes.
They had a couple spurts of effectiveness when Montana got there. They couldn't get over the hump with Montana. And by that point, Joe, I don't even think he had legs anymore. It was just like two small children that moved his stumps to get him moved around.
That was a big part of his game that people forget, his mobility.
Yeah. His ability to roll out,
They went to the championship game I think the first season he gets there.
Yeah, and they ran a lot too. Remember that? I believe they had Christian Okoye.
I believe he's there for the Mark Allen years.
Yeah,
and Christian Okoye, isn't he?
Yeah. Always one of my favorite players. What they call the Nigerian trick. Yeah. And then it was kind of back to 500 years, maybe 9-7. It's just what kills me is that we're going to piss and moan about Mahomes and the Chiefs when we literally went through 20 years of the Patriots. And as a Patriots fan, fuck yeah, I was here for it, right? But I also went through really shitty teams, and I'm back to really shitty teams.
Well, also, right before the Patriots, remember, you have kind of this dominance of the Niners where they're constantly in the mix.
Yeah, but not like they were back in the heyday, right?
They have a crazy run. The Cowboys' run was not that long.
No, it wasn't. It was, 4 years?
4 years of being like, we're going to be in the Super Bowl every year, and then maybe 5 years after that of being very competitive.
I'm going to say this now. All right. I'm just going to fucking say this now.
Say.
I wouldn't even call the post-Switzer years competitive. Because the fact of the matter is that Jerry Jones started doing Jerry Jones shit, which was hiring just unprepared head coaches.
Sure.
And it ruined any kind of dominant, like that run with 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. it ruined all that. They wasted that talent because the coaching was bad. Like, how is Chan Gailey the head coach of America's team for a little bit,
I
right?
forgot about that.
You know, and when you look at just the series of inept personnel moves post Super Bowl years,
Bad drafts.
oh, awful drafts. Quincy Carter is going to be a game-changing QB. You know, like Jerry Jones as a general manager is a fucking idiot. And yeah, exactly, Virtuoso. Exactly. You're 100% correct. And when asked, like literally at the Brian Schottenheimer press conference, you know, hey, are you going to turn the team over to money? And he's like, I'm 82 years old. I bought this team. I didn't plan on just letting my kids run it. I'm going to be here till I die, you know? And it's just like, fuck, you guys are going to suck for a lot longer than if you continue to exist.
I don't know. The Raiders haven't done much better in the post Al Davis years.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Al Davis at the end of his life sucked dick too.
Yes.
You know, like you got used to this cantankerous kind of think outside the box type of guy from the 70s, you know, AFL, suing the NFL, kind of maverick, putting out these phenomenal teams. And then it's like, dude, at this point, the game's changing. Free agency hit. Al Davis threw a shit fit about that.
Well, also,
you know,
I think that's a good segue back to the talk about the Chiefs.
The chefs.
Those Raider teams met a buzzsaw in the AFC called the Pittsburgh Steelers. And those Raiders and Steelers, and for a little bit, the Broncos in the latter part of the 70s. And that was kind of for a short time, too, because they had a very aging Craig Morton at quarterback, and it didn't get much better until Elway comes along. But those teams were very dominant. And this is all pre-salary cap. The Niners were extremely dominant in the pre-salary cap years, right? You have two Hall of Fame quarterbacks on the same team.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think. And it's not in that way that like the Packers do it, where we'll draft a guy with another guy on his way out. Joe Montana was kind of, because Steve Young has multiple rings with the Niners. He was on the team where they beat the Bengals, I believe. Yeah.
Sam Weich's Bengals.
Yeah. So they win that first Super Bowl in 81, so 82, and then they win the last one in 94, and they were still very competitive after that. I believe they go to the championship and lose to the.
It was the Packers, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. When the Packers played the Broncos.
Yeah, and that's the. Yeah. I remember Terrell Owens really like throwing shit fits. You know, so Jason, get your oil changed and hose off Ben's Megan Fox sex robot.
I have to show you the Megan Fox sex robot.
It has a microbiome going on down there.
I will show you the sex robot, and you have to see it.
Okay, but let's get through our Chiefs discussion and some other sports first before I'm completely grossed out.
But I think the Chiefs were a team that were snake bitten by playing in an era when they were some dominant teams, especially in the 90s. You have the Bills. The Raiders are actually very good in the 90s. The Broncos are very good in the 90s. And the Chiefs just can't get over the hump. Schottenheimer, every year they'll be the number one seed and they'll lose.
I mean, I think that unfortunately that was Marty Schottenheimer's like cross to bear.
Sure.
You are going to put up phenomenal regular season numbers and have zero success in the postseason. Virtuoso. When you say it like that, that's even meaner.
Cowboys haven't won shit since the Macarena.
Ouch. You know, but like Schottenheimer had his players ready to play. It's just whatever happened in the playoffs, man. You know, maybe that has to go back to Cleveland too. Would you have two things happen to you?
Yeah. That
to the present day have names, right? You don't even have to refer to the year or the opponent. You could just say the drive or Red Right 88. And every fucking football fan knows. And Browns fan or not, well, except if you're a Denver Broncos fan, then you're like, fuck them. That's the way it was supposed to be. Every other fan on the planet is just like, that's rough, bro. That is fucking rough.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, dude, I really think this is like some sort of, I'm not a believer in karma whatsoever, but you're like, maybe this is the Chiefs moment. Andy Reid, for all his success as a head coach, even taking the KC job at first, people kind of looked at him as a guy, he can get your team from the cellar to competitive, but you'll need someone else to get you there.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing now is, I really think Andy Reid should have won a Super Bowl when they played the Patriots. No. I will put the blame on Donovan McNabb.
No.
How do you throw up and go, I didn't throw up? We all watched you throw up. It wasn't like it was a national TV.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get back. He goes to the Chiefs. They look pretty good with Alex Smith.
Yeah, and I think maybe those first few years were, with Smith, who, right or wrong, kind of got a bad rap in San Fran.
They were horrible when he went there. They were horrible.
But I will say this. I think what we did find out about Alex Smith in San Francisco was he wasn't going to be the guy to get you over the hump. And that's not a knock against him, right? You put Alex Smith in a good system, maybe he has, way more success than he had.
Yeah.
But when like you said, he played for some really bad Niners teams, was there when they were kind of crusting up, gets pulled for Kaepernick, right?
He got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Goes to KC, and they realize he just doesn't have the arm to really run what Andy Smith wants to do.
Andy Reid. Yeah.
Andy Reid. Thank you. And unfortunately, he had that horrendous leg injury in Washington.
Yeah.
Which I give him a lot of credit for coming back and even playing in one game, and he's the comeback player of the year. I think he played like 6 or 7 games before he called it. But like, he just wasn't going to be the guy that was going to win you a Super Bowl. And when you draft Mahomes in the first round, and like you and I both know this, it could be at the top of the first round or the bottom of the first round. Yeah. You take a QB with the first round pick.
Yep.
You're planning on that person to get your team over the hump, whether you draft at the top of the top of the draft or the bottom.
Yep.
Okay, you really think the Ravens, when they picked Lamar, were just thinking, oh yeah, he's just going to be a caretaker. That's all we need. Fuck no. They were like, this dude's going to get us to the Super Bowl.
And people didn't like that pick either. Those are two guys that no one liked those picks for various reasons, which is weird. I can imagine saying the Mahomes pick is iffy because he got picked a little high at 10.
Well, dude,
but Jackson won a Heisman. It wasn't like he was coming off of a trash season.
I am not going to sit here and bitch at where Pat Mahomes was drafted, and I didn't when it happened. Yeah. I was a little surprised that Kansas City went after him at 10, because Alex Smith was there, right? But we knew that Mahomes could throw the ball. He comes out of a very pass-happy system out of Texas Tech, right? And maybe this wasn't like the Michael Crabtree Red Raiders, that kind of caught lightning in a bottle and they beat Texas and they were, in the running, for a BCS spot there for a little bit. But I mean, Texas Tech was a steady program, right? 8-9 wins, maybe sometimes get you 10. And when you play in the Big 12 with little financial support compared to like, UT and,
well, I guess
Ohio
back
State.
then, not now, right?
Yeah, not now. It's much different now.
Yeah.
But at the time, right? That's all you can ask for. But like, he had the arm strength. I think the accuracy was there, but it was developed more the more he played in Kansas City, and I think it really served Mahomes not starting from the jump and kind of learning that playbook and learning how to be an NFL quarterback. That really served him well when he was handed the reins. And then look at what he's done since. You know, the guy's played in the AFC Championship game since he became a full-time starter. There is no other quarterback that can fucking say that.
That's what I'm saying. This team is like Andy Reid's vision come to life. I don't know what it is about this team, because the teams he had in Philadelphia were very good. He had some very good defenses in Philadelphia. There were complete teams in Philly that were competitive. And again, I felt like that Super Bowl team was about as good as it was going to get for an Andy Reid coach team.
And I think a lot of it, like, I'm going to say this now.
Mhm.
He benefited from playing in the NFC East.
Okay.
Right.
Extrapolate.
Well, you know, the Giants are getting Eli, and they're kind of building up towards those 2 Super Bowl wins, right? So they're kind of like on the low end. You know, the Cowboys are the ineptly run Cowboys.
Fair.
Right. And the Redskins / Commanders now.
They had some bad years.
I mean, can we just say ass?
They were
right.
They were just the Heath Schuler years.
They were bad. You know, going back to the early 2000s, like
Jason
they were
Campbell years.
Yeah, they were awful. You know, so like you benefit from playing in that, because you know I can get 5 out of 6 wins. You know, against these teams. You know, and then when you look at, you know, especially that Super Bowl year, you know, Andy Reid put some games together, and he puts a season together, and then he goes to the Super Bowl, right? And they did. They had a great team. But I'm telling you, those early Patriots teams of the Dynasty, right, as opposed to the later ones, were so much better, because defensively, like, you couldn't run the ball and you could barely throw the ball against them, right? Special teams was on point. And then you still had a semblance of a running game to kind of take the pressure off Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm playing Philly. What do I need to do? I need to keep Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens off the field. How do I do that? I run the fucking ball. I control the clock, right? And that's kind of what they did. It became a slog, and that was perfect to play against that Eagles team, right? When you get later in the Patriots dynasty, the whole show literally comes about Brady, you know, and the defense slid, not precipitously, but they backslid enough compared to those the early Brady years, to where the defense played, everybody gives Belichick this credit, right? Bend but don't break. Dude, if you would have been talking like 2000 or 2001, 03, that Super Bowl against Philly, dude, that defense would have shattered the Rams, would have just fucking crippled the Rams. And same thing with the Eagles, like, defense became kind of like a sideshow, and Brady became the focus of the entire team. Like, I will never forgive Belichick, genius that he is, for getting rid of Richard Seymour. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Just pay the man.
Do you think that what we're seeing with the Chiefs, though, is a little different with any of these teams that we're talking about as far as their dominance? Because with this Chiefs team, it feels like we can do just enough. They're kind of middle in the road statistically everywhere.
Yeah, especially this year. Except on defense. The defense has made ridiculous strides and has probably won them 5 games this year.
That's the thing about them. For every call that happens in their favor, keeps a drive alive, or maybe for the other team, they don't get a third down conversion that you think they should have gotten because of a call or whatever.
Like when they ripped off Josh Allen this weekend. Fuck yeah, man. That kid got hosed. Oh, man. They gave him such a weird, miserable spot. When they showed it down the line.
Why couldn't they challenge it? That's what I was wondering. I watched it in Spanish, so I missed.
Well, that within the last 2 minutes, you can't throw the challenge flag.
Why didn't the league? It's the AFC Championship.
Yeah, I know. But like, I was even like, Romo, you got it. Like, you were absolutely correct on this shit spot. And I'm with a lot of the other fans this playoffs. Romo has sucked. Romo's been so bad.
Again, it was in Spanish where I was watching it, so I didn't hear
You
how
probably
it
got
was.
better commentary from the Spanish language commentator.
The little bit that I could understand, yeah.
You know, Jason got yo soy. He's like, I know that one.
No. I won't say what yeah. But anyway, I have to say, it's kind of like the tuck rule game. As a Bay Area native, Oakland fans will never stop crying about the tuck rule game, even though that was a rule that year, right? But the game didn't end on that play. People forget that.
Yeah.
There was more football that had to be played, and the Raiders didn't win. The Bills couldn't stop the Chiefs.
No, it's like they're fucking kryptonite, right? And I didn't come up with this one, but when I read it, I was like, you know what? They're not wrong. Everybody gives Lamar shit for not being able to advance in the playoff, get to the Super Bowl. When are we going to start giving Josh Allen shit about that?
Right now.
Okay.
We said it on the show a few weeks ago. Actually, maybe a month ago when you were on, because we were both on together. And I asked the question, maybe it was just me, I don't remember. But anyway, I asked the question, can you have quarterbacks like Dan Marino who goes one time? If you go back and look at the years that Marino and Dickerson had, they both came out in the same draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dickerson went 2, Marino went like 27, right? He's the last pick in the first round.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Or second to last or something like that. They both have phenomenal rookie seasons, with Dickerson running for 1,800 his rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
They both shatter records their second year. Marino throws for over 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns. Dickerson runs for 2,100. Dickerson never made it to a Super Bowl. Marino goes to a Super Bowl that year, and they get blown out by the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
He never goes back. No one really talks about trading Marino. I'm sure there were trade talks that we'll hear about now that, you know, it's over in the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah, at the end of Marino's career, Miami had a deal to send him to Minnesota.
Oof. You know, he was like, get fucked.
Dude, Marino was like, there's no way I'll report. I'll retire right now.
He was like, get motherfucked. He didn't want to run the ball. I've worked with a guy that played with the Dolphins team during the Jimmy Johnson years and said that Marino had been running that team for so long that he was like, I'll do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I think some of that's on Marino, but can you have a quarterback that doesn't win the big game, doesn't even get you to the big game, to play that many years and still look at him as great? I think it's a different league. Phillip Rivers never goes to the big game, and I don't think people look at him as a great quarterback, even though he put up the numbers. Those
here's the thing.
Are really good.
Yeah, here's the thing with Rivers, though, that always kind of bothered me. He was in a
douche.
very, how can I put this without pissing off the almost he was in a very advantageous position when he gets drafted, right?
Yeah.
Eli throws his hissy fit.
Yep.
Eli or Archie, Archie, whichever one. And arguably Phillip Rivers ends up in a much better situation. Yes, Eli won 2 Super Bowls, but there were a lot of ups and downs in Eli's career, to say the least, right? I'd say Rivers was more consistent. But Rivers was never going to be the dude to do what Elway did, right? Elway had a lot of heartbreak in Super Bowls, but he ends up winning 2.
Yeah.
And he played in 5?
Yep. Dude,
there would be quarterbacks that would shoot their mother in the face for that. Okay. Rivers, I didn't think he was the most talented QB. Okay.
He had a great team. I can't lie.
He did. He had a really good team around
Danian
him.
Tomlinson.
Yeah. and a prime LT.
The prime Vincent
Right.
Jackson. That dude was a beast.
And he had the good years of no, he didn't. That's a lie.
Junior Seau was there for a while.
For a little bit at the end before he went to New England.
Who was the tight end? I can't think of his name right now.
Antonio Gates.
That motherfucker was a beast.
And what sport did he play?
Basketball.
And where?
It was some Michigan school.
Kent State University.
Oh, was it Kent? I thought it was a Michigan school. I'm
no,
sorry.
Kent State.
Yeah, dude. He had some good teams, but I think he's still a good quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good QB. Right? I will say that all day long, right? Like if I have a two good receivers and LT, I'll take Phillip Rivers as my quarterback. He'll get close to 4,000 yards every year, probably throw 28 touchdowns. Early on in his career, he was much more careful with the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than he was towards the later end. Yeah, I'll take that, and just run my system, but if I'm starting a team, am I taking Phillip Rivers? Fuck no. One, my owner is going to be very upset with me. He's like, I have to offer healthcare to his wife and all 14 of his kids. No. My owner is going to be like, Coach Mac, you lost because Phillip Rivers is too busy fucking and not putting his nose in the goddamn playbook and watching film. He's got 23 kids now. I don't know how that happened. In a year, he went from 14 to 23, but that's how many fucking kids he's got.
That poor woman's uterus.
God, the kids just crawl out at this point,
Jesus Christ. At least he's a family man.
He is. And I'm not going to give him shit about that. Well, I'll give him shit the same way you and I give Russell Wilson shit, right? Be a nerd, be a proud dad. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you shit about your poor performance.
Yep.
Like, that's just how I am. Right? Hey, JCD, I'd probably say you're in the over in that. I don't think Rivers, had 25 yards rushing in his entire career. He was cut from the kind of the statuesque QB, model of Marino and Drew Bledsoe. They're going to hang in the pocket. They're going to take that beating, but they're going to get the ball out, put up numbers, right?
He put up big numbers in San Diego, but again, you're in the same division as a resurgence of the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders were halfway decent around that time. Then they started getting really bad. Kansas City's competitive. It's like they stayed competitive for 40 years. Not great, but just competitive. And then you're playing against the Patriots in the big games, or the Colts, or the Steelers. Like, you're hitting these buzzsaws again, kind of like those Raiders teams that they only eked out one Super Bowl in the 70s because you have to get through that gauntlet.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think we're seeing teams that play in tougher divisions. And granted, the AFC West hasn't had the depth it traditionally has, the last few years, but the Broncos were resurgent. Like, I don't think you can take anything away from what Sean Payton's done in Denver. The Las Vegas Raiders are a fucking dumpster fire and will continue to be a dumpster fire until they get the front office set up, until they realize what they want to do. And by that, I mean, coaching wise, and then the Chargers, they're always going to be a rough out. As long as Harbaugh is a coach, that's going to be a well-coached team.
That's a scary team. You're
right. That's going to be a well-coached team that's going to play you close. I mean, they really fell off at the end of the year, which.
Well, Herbert is getting that talk because I pick up San Diego radio here. He's getting that talk. You said, when is Josh Allen going to get that? They're finally saying that about Herbert, which I don't agree with.
No, considering he played on some trash teams his first, 3 or 4 years in the league.
Maybe he needs to get a Drew Brees trade.
Maybe.
Herbert to the Saints.
Oh God, he'll die there. That is one of the no.
Herbert to the Raiders.
Well, their offensive lines that I need better. But they're a
He's
better.
mobile though.
They're not to the effect where if you don't have anybody blocking in front of you, you're gonna get killed.
What do you think Herbert would do with the Raiders if they draft like Travis Henry and make him a wide receiver?
You mean Hunter?
Travis Henry.
Well, all the scouting shit I've read, he's being graded as a corner.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah. I don't think you won't see him line up at wideout, right? He's too big of a weapon. But you can't play over 100 snaps a game in the NFL.
Not at all. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him do it as a joke.
Yeah, that's not cool. You're going to get that kid killed.
He's going to be a shutdown corner. I don't think so. I was joking about being a wide receiver.
I don't know if Hunter gets past the first or second pick, man.
Who's got the number 2 pick? The Giants?
The Browns.
Do they need it? 2 for a corner just feels so high when you have other needs. They have a decent front 4, though.
I mean, the thing is with the Browns, I would pass on Hunter. Like, say someone wazoo, like say something crazy happens and that defensive end from Penn State goes first, right?
I could see that.
If you have Shador and Travis, you take Shador. You need a QB. I would love to see Hunter end up in a Patriots uniform and have him and Christian Gonzalez on either side of the field. That would make me happy. I would get a football boner.
Damn.
But I also, at this point, would like to see the Patriots trade down and pick up more picks so we can restock the offensive line, get Drake May a couple people to throw to, just something. But it's all speculation at this point. But if you look at teams that play in rough divisions, one of two things happens, like iron sharpens iron type of thing, and they just come out and fuck your shit up. Right? Yes, Scatabo is hitting the draft this year. He's a senior. Or they beat the shit out of each other so badly in the regular season that when they get to the postseason, it's just they kind of fall apart, right?
Yeah.
We kind of expected that to happen to the Chiefs this year because they were playing like every game's a close game. Like they're not blowing teams out like they were. But what the fuck did they do? They just found ways to win over and over. Yeah. It's just, and you have to admit, this year they did it more with defense than they did with offense. Their number one running back was out a lot of the year with Pacheco.
And I thought that was their moment to really, okay, they're not going to be it. No one could beat them still. They get timely first downs.
Yeah. And a lot of that is how Mahomes sees the field, right? He's mobile enough to where he could take off and pick up yardage when he needs to, right? Or he can kind of like just dance in the pocket, dance around the pocket, and wait till somebody gets open, whether it's 4 yards for the first down or a deep strike, right? And I think what kind of really made the Chiefs struggle offensively in the first half of the year was Travis Kelce wasn't having a Travis Kelce year.
Nope.
At end of season, though, he's turning it on. Playoffs hit, he's he's ready to go. And I think that has a lot to do with, people forget Kelce's been in the league a while too.
Yes.
Right. So especially now, I mean, the dude averaged over 100 catches for how many years? Right. The dude has taken shots every freaking year.
The Chiefs kind of hit on that wide receiver pick. Texas.
I think so. I think they did too. I think you give him next year, like another year in the, going to off-season activities, mini camp, and he's got the playbook completely down and he knows what's expected of him now. Because wide receiver, I think, is the hardest transition in the NFL, going from college to the NFL now. You don't really have a lot of guys hit it year one. Everybody thought that would have been Marvin Harrison Jr., but I think him just getting enveloped in Arizona's offense didn't kind of take the way everybody thought he would, but it's a rough transition because you just can't blow your guy off the ball anymore.
No.
Right? Even corners on bad teams are fucking lightning fast. So it's
and strong.
Yeah, so you're going to get jammed at the line.
Yeah.
You got to learn to fight through it. Like I always thought Marvin Harrison Jr., like the dude is yoked, but he's a light guy. Like he's not big. And I'm not expecting him to be like DK Metcalf big because nobody is built like DK Metcalf. But he needs some more time in a weight room in that strength and conditioning program. But it's the Chiefs just have this knack of winning, and that is frustrating.
Yes.
Right. But this is how the NFL is, whether we like to admit it or not. Right. If you want to talk parity, like real parity, and I'll get to that in a second, Tony. That's a good point. Baseball has better parity than
by far,
because I think there's been like 16 teams in the World Series over the last like 10 years. The NFL, you kind of sift out all these bad teams, right? And you only have 5 or 6 good ones that are well run. They draft well, they develop talent well, right? And those guys stay at the top. And then every 5 or 6 years, what happens? You shake it again, and some of those teams that were at the top fall down, and other ones stay, right? And that's just the nature of the game. And it's, does it suck sometimes? Sure. But I am going to proffer this up, right? Like when people get pissed off about like good teams running up the score. Well, dude, you have a defensive coordinator that's paid to stop the offense from fucking scoring, right? It's the same thing in the NFL. If you don't want the Chiefs there, you need more owners to hire smart front office people who draft well, who develop talent well, who spend money in free agency well, right? To develop a good team that is able to knock the Chiefs off the perch. And that's just what you have to do. Maybe Mark Davis is having Brady there is the best thing for him. Because Brady played for an organization that was ridiculously stable. Coaching staff was pretty stable. The front office was pretty stable. And then later on in that dynasty, when coaches were leaving a lot, when Nick Caserio left and it was just Belichick by himself, what happened? You started seeing less and less results in the playoffs. You saw them get below 500, and you saw Bill shown the door. So if you're tired of seeing the Chiefs there, you can't be mad at the Chiefs for that. You have to be mad at the rest of the teams in the NFL that are failing to keep up.
I think the Chiefs are that good. The game has changed so much that there's a move away from running the football, even when it's working for you. And there's a move to let's go for 2 when it's not a desperation situation. I definitely don't like that move.
I love that move.
Do you really?
Dude, yes.
I don't like always going for 2.
You want to know why?
Why?
It's called asserting your dominance. If it works in prison, it works on the football field. Okay.
I'm going to need you to not have pre-workout.
We're coming for you.
Because you are too much right now.
Oh, Jason, that's one of the nicest things you've said to me.
No more pre-workout for you.
No, listen, all
you
I know
and Pascal are not allowed to have pre-workout.
Is I am the world's greatest coach because I got NCAA 25. I've been to 6 national title games and won 4 with Kent State. Kent fucking State. All right. Best head coach ever. Me.
The buzzsaw that is Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Bert Cooper about this. I was like,
hold on, before you go on, is there a dumber general manager in the NFL than fucking the Giants general manager right now?
If you look at Saquon's numbers, and I did, because I just wanted to see for myself when I saw him approaching 2,000, and I do think there's a bit of class that I don't think I would have observed had I been him and had his ability to sit out the last game and not even try to go for Eric Dickerson's record because it was 17 games, not 16. But and he still didn't do what OJ did in 14 games. But when you see what he did in 17 games, 16 games, I guess, 2,000 yards is an achievement that only a handful of backs have done. And I challenge anyone to name all the backs that have done it.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, he ended up with almost 2,300 yards from scrimmage.
Oh, because he can catch it. He's a physical freak that when he was in New York, his best season was not quite 1,400 yards rushing, which I was shocked. I was like,
well, it's because he's played behind some just ass offensive linemen.
Sure.
But
damn, man. He is playing on another level. And I was like, I don't care if he's juiced out of his mind. This is some fun football to watch.
Yeah, but
when
you know what?
He did the backwards jump. I was like, let me check that P because that's not
he's gotten the same treatment Myles Garrett got last year. Literally a game after Myles Garrett got 4 sacks, got home from the game, already had a urinalysis guy at the door. NFL had somebody there.
Because Myles Garrett is how tall? 6'6"? At least.
Yeah.
He looks like he can pack on the muscle that he has. And if you've ever seen an enhanced person, they don't look like Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
He doesn't look enhanced. Barkley was doing some stuff in the offseason where they were showing him like squat, something stupid. Was it like 800 pounds or something stupid like that? It was some dumb amount.
Dude, a year after Nick Chubb blew out his knee, like last season,
yeah,
he was squatting 600.
There was some dumb amount.
Yeah.
These guys, they are really ridiculously strong. And Saquon's had crazy leg, and he's had knee injuries, hasn't he, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, knee and ankle mostly.
And so I'm like, okay, let's just say for all intents and purposes.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, the thing is like in the NFL, they take doping so seriously. Yes, exactly, Kush, exactly. I don't know if you've ever seen him in his football pants, but that dude's packing a hog. Okay. No, but that's one of the things, man. Like the NFL has the most stringent anti-doping policy. And I know there's enterprising individuals out there, right? That can get around it. But this isn't like basketball. This isn't like hockey. And this isn't like MMA, where if you piss off the big leagues, you can go to another country and ply your trade just fine. This is the fucking NFL, man. This is the only game in town.
Yeah.
Right. And I know there's multiple professional leagues popping up around the world, but you're not going to make much. A dude I follow on TikTok just got signed with a team out of Copenhagen. He's going to make $25,000 for the season.
Damn.
But he's playing professional ball. He's getting game tape, and sometimes that's all you need. So it's these guys know if I fuck this up, I'm not getting back in. Look at what they did to Josh Gordon over pot.
I think they took pot more seriously than juice. Because who do you know? All these guys that got popped doing Cushing, they're not getting caught with steroids in their system. They're getting caught with high estrogen levels.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're cycling off.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, I don't care if he is. Because that backwards jump that he did,
he's just
over a man.
He's just that talented. That's the thing.
He didn't run, Mac. He didn't run. He sensed like a fucking ninja that someone was behind him. He then, without a running start, leaped backwards over a grown man.
Yes, I'm aware. I watched it.
after he's had multiple injuries. That wasn't the third play of the game.
Dude, this is probably Saquon's healthiest year
That was in the second half.
since his rookie year.
Saquon Barkley, Paul Prescott is watching the show. Shout out to Paul and all the Eagles fans. Dustin Costello, shout out. Adolph Reed. The fact that this dude is guaranteed, like Paul said, to take one to the house, he is doing what people thought Reggie Bush would do, not understanding that Reggie Bush and Christian McCaffrey are the same player.
Yeah. And
Saquon Barkley is a running back.
Yeah. And the thing
in
is,
every sense of the word.
You know, the thing is, when we talk about Reggie Bush, I hate this argument because you got to think his rookie year in New Orleans was actually really good, right?
Yes.
But Reggie only weighed like as much as your left leg, right? So running him between the tackles was going to get him killed, and that's exactly what happened, right? He was the guy that if he wasn't in space, he wasn't going to be the electrifying guy he was in college because, again, he's playing against grown-ass men now, right? And I'm not trying to knock what those USC teams did because they were phenomenal, stacked top to bottom with pro talent, right? But even then, even in the Pac-12, you're still playing some teams that weren't that good. That's just... Yeah, I saw that, Mr. Kraft.
Reggie Bush had a good NFL career, and I don't like Charlie Casserly's take on why he didn't draft him earlier, because he was like, he's a utility running back. Why would I take a person like that so high in the draft? If you remember, Drew Brees wanted to take less money to keep Reggie Bush on that team because he was a mismatch nightmare.
Yeah,
you had to always account for Reggie Bush.
And get this, though. Casserly is the guy that was handed the keys to the kingdom, right? To run from top to bottom his own team. After serving as scout, assistant general manager, and general manager for the Redskins, okay? When he took over and was the first general manager of the Houston Texans, he took Tony Baselli coming off a major shoulder surgery with the first pick in the expansion draft. Did Tony Baselli ever suit up for the Texans? No. Right? Not even fucking once. The only picture you have of Tony Baselli in a Texans jersey is that first fucking press conference. And that's it. Right? And
who remembers Mario Williams?
Oh, dude.
He had a decent NFL career, but that's the first pick taken in a draft that had Vince Young, Reggie Bush. Did Lindell White come out that year too?
Yeah, he was taken the second round, remember, by the Titans.
Yeah, Lindell White. Who else came out that year? Basically everybody on USC.
Yeah.
And offense and defense.
So Casserly, he was put in charge of everything. The McNair family put him in charge. They're like, we paid $700 million for this team, Charlie Casserly, and you ran great teams in the 80s. We're going to leave it all up to you 20-something years after the fact.
Yeah.
And he ran that team into the fucking ground. So when Charlie Casserly is fucking flapping his gums about players now, I'm like, you old fuck. Go to the retirement home, hang out with Nana, and let adults talk.
I always look at Reggie Bush's career as one of, he played in an era that wasn't made for him. If he played right now, he'd be Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, he'd be killing it.
Right? Because we're gonna let you return kicks. If you're gonna score, there's just not a value placed on people that return kicks for some odd reason until they do it at a high level. And then you're like, oh, pay that guy.
Yeah. And but the thing is now, like, I think with the new kickoff rules, we'll probably see kind of that renaissance of the returner,
So mean.
Wow, Paul.
I saw a podcast where Reggie Bush talked about that. They asked him the hardest he ever got hit, and he said Sheldon Brown hit him so hard. He said he went to the wrong sideline.
Yeah. Yeah. But like that, it's just some of these older, once upon a time, successful general managers trying to talk about players now. It's like you can't compute what you did in the 80s to now. John Riggins, he ain't shit. Go to the retirement. Put that one back up again. Go to the retirement home, but beware the Meemaw with the strong opinions on what she doesn't like about the retirement.
There's this old. I found this old interview from like the 90s, and these kids walk up to this old lady at an old folks' home. They're like, "What don't you like about this place?" And she goes, "The blacks." And then the camera just cuts off.
Wow, that tracks.
Dude,
that's probably honestly that's probably some general managers from the 80s too. What do you think about the NFL now, Charlie Casserly? The black
about these quarterbacks nowadays. They're black. cut.
Charlie, you can't say that on TV. Bullshit. I used to smoke cigarettes in my office and grab my receptionist's ass. Oh, NFL soft now. Soft.
I think that the Eagles have a good shot, but I thought they had a good shot 2 years ago. Jalen Hurts isn't the X factor in this game, in my opinion. I think he won't do enough to. I think the X factor is Saquon Barkley.
You want to know what I would do if I was Nick Sirianni? I would pick the best 6 pass plays where it puts Hurts in the best position to make a completion, right? And I just run those out of like 5 or 6 different formations. And then I would run option the rest of the game. That's exactly what I would do. Control the clock, keep Mahomes off the field, wear down Kansas City's defense. Because someone already said, Saquon, given enough time, is going to break off a big run.
And it's not just Saquon. They're just deep at the running back position.
Yeah.
And they could Hurts, if they wanted to, they could go back to 2 years ago and be like, "Hey, Jalen, we got some quarterback dives. You're gonna run some dives."
Dude, I would just run old school option too.
Like wishbone. Like
yeah.
the wishbone. Not even from shotgun. I'm running the wishbone from under center.
Like fucking Hurts reads the defensive end. And if the defensive end crashes in, take off, pick up 5 yards.
Yeah.
If the defensive end flexes out, pitch. Oh.
To Saquon Barkley?
Yeah. Right? Or, you can do an RPO where, you make the read of the defensive tackle and defensive end. If the offensive line blow open a hole, let go of the ball, let Saquon do what he does. If not, Jalen can take it off around the end. That's what I would do. I would just control the game. Don't give Andy Reid time to scheme shit against you. Keep it simple, man.
Would you say, though, that the explosive players kind of are on Philly's side? Brown, Smith,
I think
Barkley.
AJ Brown is a matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
And with Smith, if he can get behind his man, that's dangerous as fuck. So you have to think Kansas City's got Steve Spagnuolo, who has a very flexible defense. Like some games, they just play a zone, soft zone, keep 2 safeties high, and expect the pass rush to only come from the front 4, right? Other games, he's blitzing his dick off and leaving his corners on an island. You never know what you're going to get with Steve Spagnuolo, right? If he plays like a too high safety, and you can get AJ Brown over the middle, that's money all game long, right? So at that point, you're going to want to move your safeties up to kind of, help the linebackers in the center. You can get Smith deep. But Kansas City's front 4 can get pressure by themselves. They do a great job of collapsing the pocket. So it's going to give Hurts an opportunity to get outside the pocket, maybe pick up yards on the ground. But their linebackers they cover space pretty well. Yeah, dude, Dallas Goedert, there's another one, the tight end for Philly, just is a whole other weapon, right? My biggest thing with the Eagles is Sirianni sometimes gets in his own head and and just overrules his coordinators, right? And I think that's probably, if you're an Eagles fan, that could be your biggest knock against the team. You know, I think every player's there that they need to win. Every fucking one of them.
Jalen Carter's a monster.
Yes. Picked up for pittance, and he's just a wrecking ball, which is something Kansas City's going to have to scheme for, right? I think Kansas City's offensive line is going to have to like really reach into the bag of tricks to contain Philly's front four. You know, but again, go ahead and bet against the Chiefs at your will, you know, at your peril, because they find a way to win. They're phenomenally coached, offensively and defensively.
The calm.
Yeah.
The calm of that team. And that to me is the difference between great teams and pretty good teams and dynasties. Look at any team in any sport that's dominated over a long period of time. It's those moments where they're down a score, maybe even two, and just no one's rattled. No. And I always go back to, and I hate to go back to this, the 88 Super Bowl where Joe Montana drives 90 yards for the Niners to beat the Bengals. Just the calm on that. That was a close game. That was a defensive game. It was a slugfest.
You know who else was pretty calm during their Super Bowl? Joe Gibbs and Doug Williams. They were super calm that entire game.
You talking about that old big lip nigga Doug Williams. Fee, 5, 4 figure boy, I hate some niggas. And Doug Williams is about 9 niggas I hate. Chocolate country fucker.
If there's 10 I hate, he's 9 of them.
We need segregation back just to keep that monkey fucker Doug Williams on the sidelines where he belongs.
Jason's going to start calling for the Native American Mark Rippon soon. Hey, I went to a powwow looking for Mark Rippon. I didn't see him. He's not native. What? Who said that? Jason's like, I'm not a violent man, but I'll fight somebody. You can't just say someone's not native.
There is no, dude, every black person that never watched a football game was like, I'm so glad the legacy of Martin Luther King looms large in the soul of Doug Williams. I was like, if you don't shut your cooney ass up, fuck this old fuck. Hate Doug Williams.
It's gonna be funny. Like, hey Jason, hey, yeah, my name's Stan. I'm a rep for Doug Williams, and he really wants to be on your show. Fuck you.
Hey Stan, tell you and that old greasy lip nigga to go fuck themselves.
Doug, I think it was a racist white guy. Oh. Are you sure Jason Miles is black?
I just turn into David Duke every time Doug Williams' name is mentioned.
You're like, you know what? No, let him on. And you just show up in a Klan outfit. You know?
I say segregation tonight. Segregation tomorrow.
Segregation forever.
Forever. My neighbors are like, we like that guy.
There's like a white dude that comes up banging on your door. Hey, are you calling for segregation? Because I'm. That's why I ran here. I'm trying to. Oh, honey, he's black. Is this some kind of joke to you, sir? We white folks left America.
We left America to come here
to start a racist republic.
For a chance
Rosarito.
Really feel white and superior. For some odd reason, in another country. Do you see Paul Prescott said Doug Williams actually refused to give up his seat before it was
Mr. Williams, sir, you're sitting in the front of the plane. The spot's reserved for Mark Rippon.
He's native. They suffered more. Suffering Olympics, the Rippons win. I'm so mad you said that. You're at a powwow. Well, where's Mark Rippon? He's not native.
Jason's just like, I'm not a violent man, but I'll hit somebody for saying that. Can't just say someone's not native.
Oh, can I show you something, Mac? It's an actual picture.
Before we move into anything, we have to wrap up. We have to put a bow on this.
Okay, but
Before we get
okay,
into
here, I'm
shaming.
gonna let you put the bow on it while I find this picture because you won't believe I found the proof of the Pog Chaser MLK.
Oh God.
Yes.
Now I'm fascinated. But
I'm
yeah,
not even trying to be funny. It's an actual photo.
but yeah, guys, like I think Claw, you said, hey, if he does ball control, cuts down on turnovers, and just keeps her cool, Philly's got a real shot. But like you're never gonna count Kansas City out of anything until like Pat Mahomes is 40 and his arm starts doing what I call the late career Peyton Manning, where he can't really get the ball 4 yards downfield. But I think both these teams are very well run. They draft well, they develop talent well, they plug in through trade or free agency players that are going to make their team better. As far as coaching, Kansas City definitely has the edge there. Sirianni, I don't know what to think of him. Sometimes, he's trying to fight his own fan base, like fist fight. And other times, he's like, man, Philly's great, but coaching in Philly's got to be rough. Those fans are brutal. Whether you're a Flyers fan, Phillies fan, Sixers fan, or Eagles fan, dude, Philly fans are just, I mean, fuck, they put D-cell batteries and snowballs and threw them at Santa for crying out loud.
That's true.
But, it's just how it is, man. I think this is going to be a good Super Bowl. Hey, Jason, I'm getting an echo.
I'm sorry.
But I hope we get a good game again. I don't need a blowout. I don't need a Doug Williams beating the Broncos ass whooping. One of those is enough for Jason's lifetime, and I don't think he deserves punishment anymore for that. So
35 points in one quarter. I still can't get over it.
Never get over it. Jason's gonna live with that for the rest of his life. He's, just don't pass that sports generational trauma onto Phoenix. Let that boy live.
I found the image.
Okay.
And this is a real photo.
Okay.
It's not AI. Bam.
Oh, yeah. You know what, man? I don't know. I think this MLK might be more like you, Jason, because that doesn't look like a pog to me. That looks like she's got the longest and flattest of asses. Maybe. Oh, Mr. Crash, no. No, Mr. Crash.
Mac, I saw this and I was like that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio. It was right.
Jason's sitting there with his frothed mocha.
So you saw that Trump was like, we're going to release the MLK files, and all they released was 2 pages about him cheating and having threesomes.
Yeah, like shit we haven't known about for, I don't know, 50 years.
Yeah, it's like, hey, thanks for validating my fucking bit, douchebag.
Yeah,
Yeah, this really changes the MLK Pog history.
Yeah. We have confirmed that Dr. King was not a fan of the fat-assed white girl, but he loved that long, flat bottom and those pencil skirts.
The pencil skirt is the most unflattering. It'll flatten a butt in a New York minute, as they say.
Unless that girl's got, does a lot of squats. Because I've seen pencil skirts where it's just like, God damn. And like you could see the zipper holding on for dear life, You're like,
This is part of MLK's dream as well. This is part of Pog Chaser MLK's dream.
Please,
can you see it?
No, it hasn't loaded yet. What is it? Oh.
Okay, here it comes.
Yeah. In my heart, Dr. King really was a Pog Chaser, right? And that would be more his style, not that skinny little waif that was hanging on his left arm in the photo. But you know what?
Do you see this comment when he started speaking against part of the Pog, the key part of the Pogs they assassinated? Joel and Mike says rice cakes. Oh my God. This is so racist.
God, we're never gonna get a network show, man.
I sent that to a bunch of people, and I just wrote the caption, "My dream team."
I mean, those 2 pages probably were written about the hour after that interaction happened when he had them both just shotgunned in his hotel room.
I do have to show you this video, and then we can stop.
Dude, apparently I have to subject myself to the Megan Fox sex doll.
Oh, you want me to show you the Megan Fox one? I was going to show you this one. Because this one I thought was kind of funny. I've never heard this saying before. Have you heard this saying?
You know what they say? Once you go white, you're financially right. You know what?
Joke's on you. I'm broke, bitch. I am broke. I'm not taking you on scenic vacations with your tacky fucking necklace. All right. You know what vacation is? We're going to go to Myrtle Beach.
Damn.
Okay. We're going to eat really shitty food at like 3 a.m. And I'm probably going to get drunk and pass out on the beach that night. And Myrtle City cops are going to poke me with a stick to tell me to get off the fucking sand dunes. Okay. That's your vacation with me.
So there's this thing that I've been showing in the champagne room. I'll show you just one of these. And the Idaho State Prison is allowing inmates to post their number so they can get pen pals and receive benefits. So yes, they're kind of getting pimped out by the system, but this is what it is. It's a dating site.
Is this like mugshot shouties?
No, this is legit. They listen.
Hey, what's up? My name's Janelle Martinez. My number is 114-568. I'm located in Idaho. I'm looking for friends, good company, someone to talk shit with, emotional and financial support. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Hit me up on JPay.
But my sentence, it runs concurrently until 2036. So
it's like, oh my God.
I'm kind of here for a long time.
Right. But Mac.
Okay, one, I'm not filling up anybody's commissary account. Fuck you, no. Okay. I have enough time keeping my commissary account filled. Okay, I got bills, lady. Why don't you send me money? Why don't you cash at me something? Fuck. Go mop a floor for 13 cents an hour. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry. That was bad.
They called it only cons, Mac.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. But, you know, right now I'm sitting up here looking like this lady.
I had no sex.
She's gonna go get dick right now.
Nothing to me is funnier than that woman taking off.
I mean, I had no sex, and then she just fell apart.
Somebody flashed. Somebody
just showed the dick. Just started helicoptering, like. Okay, JCD, do not put that out into the world, because that won't be a docuseries. That'll be some filmed reality TV like 90 Day Fiance. Okay, like don't put that into the world, because somebody's gonna read this and make it happen.
It's bad, dude. Yeah, don't do that. I gotta find the Megan Fox thing for you, because I didn't think it was real myself. But there's some movie where she's like a robot.
Yeah, I watched it.
Are you being serious?
Mm-hmm.
You're not joking.
No.
You
Yeah, it was awful.
No, wait, you watched the movie where she was like a robot?
Mm-hmm.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And what?
Would you like a brief synopsis?
All I know, Mac, they just played one scene from it. And it's the scene where the wife is like, "Did you fuck my husband?" And the robot basically says, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
Because when I saw that clip, I was like, well, it's a robot. Like, of course you fucked the robot. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a Megan Fox robot. You're going to fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
Isn't that why you got it?
Well, the dude's an architect, and his wife has open heart surgery.
Oh,
right?
Excuses.
So she's in the hospital recovering,
Mhm.
and he goes to like this Android store and picks up a Megan Fox domestic Android helper, right? So this dude's like a raging alcoholic. Like, he's constantly fucking drunk. And before the wife goes into the hospital, she's like, "Help him out. Like, he doesn't know what to do without me, blah, 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 blah," right? And like Megan Fox starts reading stories to the kid in like the wife's voice. And if anybody's seen Californication with David Duchovny,
Yeah.
the wife is the underage girl that he sleeps with in like the second episode.
They punched him in the face?
Yeah. That's the chick.
That's her?
Yeah.
Damn,
That
it's
she
been a
plays
long
the wife.
time. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
old.
And so he's like he's in the shower, and like essentially she seduces him and fucks him. But then she becomes like really fucking protective of him. And his coworker who's working on this building, and keep in mind there's only a few humans that are working it. The rest of them is other Android. Well, Joel, Mike, you got to go to the Android store and see what they say, man. Like, go to the Samsung, go to Verizon and be like, "Hey, I need an upgrade. I need that Megan Fox Android. The horny one." But so his friend destroys all these Android workers. He gets fired, and long story short, Megan Fox is like, "You yelled at the dude, so I'm gonna kill you." And she kills his friend, kills like a few other people, and then like interfaces with like the main network of all the androids, and like kind of like takes over. They destroy her in the end, but she like uploaded herself, so it's like leaving. It's like leaving the hint of there's going to be a sequel, but I hope to God there isn't. It was bad, man.
All I cared about was that scene, because that scene to me was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my
Dude,
life.
I got really stoned, right? Because like I didn't have a car. I can't do anything. And I was like, fuck it. My sister sent me some edibles, and she's like, "Hey, do like you normally do, just eat a quarter of one edible at a time." So like I was like, fuck that. And like I ate a half. And so, dude, I just turned into like this giggly goofball, and I'm sitting in my chair like, and like I'm flipping through shit to watch. And I'm like, holy shit, Megan Fox is a robot. Click. And I watched it. And by the end of it, dude, I wasn't that high anymore. And I was like really upset. And Tony, I imagine so. She's got like superhuman strength and shit. Like she.
Oh, when he said that she's self-cleaning.
So I imagine, yeah, probably.
Dude, I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that clip.
Well, I'm telling you, if you guys want to like get high and watch, like it's only like an hour and 40 minutes, dude. It's short as fuck. You know, so like, I mean, go ahead and watch it. It's atrocious, but like then again, Jason did give us a whole rundown of the movie Switch.
Great film.
Fuck you, dude.
Great fucking film.
Fuck you.
I don't give a fuck what you say. Great fucking film.
It's not good.
It's a good fucking film.
No, it's not.
It's a good. Hey, it's a good film. It's quality film.
Tony, it was a real movie because I watched it. It wasn't good.
I saw that clip. I was like, is this like a SNL bit?
No.
Like, did you fuck him? And then she got all mad at him. Like, did you fuck her? Yeah, I fucked the Megan Fox robot. Why would I not?
Yeah, you know,
it's a Megan Fox robot. Once I found out I wasn't going to get shocked and all holes were open. Yeah. Why do you think I've been doing shit around the house?
Yeah.
Duh.
I mean, Megan Fox robots.
Yeah, you're recovering from your heart attack. What did she have again? Cancer?
Open heart surgery.
Open heart surgery. Oh God.
Yeah.
Lucky that I have that good fucking Cadillac healthcare plan that Obama tried to cut. Just shut up, lady. Let me fuck the robot, okay? Jesus.
You can't fuck anymore right now. Your heart.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I gotta sit here to go, you okay, honey?
Yeah.
I got these fucking kids. They have no sympathy for you. They don't know an open heart surgery from fucking sniffles.
Yeah.
And I have to explain to them why mommy might expire. Takes a lot out of me. You know what else takes a lot out of me? The Megan Fox robot, okay?
Just rope after rope. It was so much.
I'm open to things I never thought I'd be open for, honey. Yeah, the Megan Fox robot pegged me, and I'm not complaining.
And you know what? I got her back door too.
There you go.
Been married 12 years. You let me put one finger in once.
And you complained. You talked to your friend. You brought it up at Thanksgiving with my Nana over. Okay?
And then it led to a whole gross conversation where Nana was like, in 43, I gave up my butthole to Eisenhower.
You think I want to think about my Nana taking it up the pooper?
Getting railed by the Supreme Allied Commander of the Western Front? No.
Not really. But you had to make me look like an asshole in front of my parents and your brother, who I can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot. You know what Megan Fox does? She shuts the fuck up.
And pegs me. I mean, gives me her butthole.
It's not cheating if it's a robot. Jesus.
She can't get attached, sweetheart. Would you like me to kill her? Shh, robot, shut up.
Robot, shut up. Will the robot be our new mom? Oh, if this one keeps, maybe.
Sweetie, I'll bang her later. She'll have a heart attack and die, and we'll have robot mom.
Yay, robot mom! Robot mom, robot mom.
Your mom's just sitting there like, what the fuck?
Then he's got to go on Dr. Phil because the fucking mom is like,
okay,
and that's when he fucked the robot.
Dr. Phil
goes, let me see the robot. And the robot comes out and everyone's kind of like, it's Megan Fox.
Yeah. But see, Dr. Phil can't do that show because he's too busy running around with ICE in Chicago trying to round up undocumented people.
Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
What is he? Is he going to scold them all the way back to their mother country?
Dude, him and Christy Nome both were in body armor with police like patches on it.
This is why I got kicked out of Mexico.
I mean, you're still in Mexico.
Yeah, because I had to get back in. I had to sneak in.
No, well, there is some talk that they're going to start deporting Americans
Yeah. They tried.
Yeah, as like a big fuck you. And I think that's hilarious.
If you had I not been so angry and frightened and a little depressed, I would have recorded the procession of Americans that were getting kicked out.
Yeah.
It was, if you're coming in that late, you probably live here, and to get kicked out of somewhere you live is rather uncomfortable.
Oh, dude, I can only imagine.
But it's a minor inconvenience why we were getting kicked out. It was just because all of us had expired registrations.
Well, I mean, dude, the crazy thing to me is, my kids are native, and they have about 1,200 people on the rolls, right?
Mhm.
800 of them voted for Trump. And then we're totally shocked that he's referencing a 19th century law to try and end birthright citizenship based around indigenous people. And they're like, why would he do this? And then somebody goes, are you stupid? And keep in mind, they all have like really Southern accents. They're like, are you dumb? He's been saying this for years, and y'all keep voting for him because you're stupid. He ain't never done nothing for black people. What makes you think he's gonna do something for us? And they're like, why would you say that? And keep in mind, my ex has this, like, she's in a council meeting. This is all happening at a governmental council meeting.
Yeah.
That she's taking in over Zoom. And dude is just locked in. He goes, well, I'm gonna tell you right now. You know what he tried to do in 93? And they're like, what? Why don't you tell us since you know everything? Well, he tried to lobby Congress to outlaw indigenous gaming because he said it was bankrupt his casinos, even though he ran 2 casinos in the ground, which is like fucking impossible because the house always makes money off every fucking bet. So that shows you how dumb of a man and how bad of a businessman he is. And y'all keep voting for him. Oh, he's such a Christian. Bullshit. Man ain't met pussy he wasn't going to cheat on. And then you hear, sir, you can't. Come on, this is a general council meeting. I don't give a shit. I'm talking to dumb people. And they like cut his mic off, and he's just sitting there like, I told y'all. Now I got to go? Okay, I guess I'll go. So much for democracy, right? Okay.
Oh, no, one of those.
Yeah.
Those are the best. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah. It's
a mess. It's
dude, it all is. And I was telling Jason earlier that I'm pretty freaked out. And he's like, well, yeah, dude, it's frightening. And I'm like, my ex, who always called me an alarmist, is finally scared. And
it's going to be uncomfortable for a while because this is some weird shock and awe shit. He's doing shit that's illegal just because it's illegal.
Well, here's the thing. This is what kills me because, like, at work when the inauguration happened, everybody's overjoyed, right? Weird. Everybody,
sure.
And outside of like me and a few other people, so they're talking about how tariffs are going to be great for General Motors.
Retarded. And
so I'm checking keys into the tower because we got like this 4-drawer tower where we keep all the keys in, and you could just put the stock number in and the drawer pops open. You pull the key with the light next to it, and that's the car you got, right? That's the one you wanted. And it's right next to the front desk. And I was like, do you guys understand how a tariff works? And they're like, it's a tax. I'm like, in a very vague sense, yes. I was like, but where are Traxxas and Trailblazers assembled? They're like, South Korea. I was like, yeah. What is that? Cars? Yes, they're cars. It's an overseas product. And they're like, yeah, South Korea is going to pay for it. And I said, no, they won't. General Motors has to pay for it. And if they have an increase in price, what does that do to the price of the vehicle? It goes up. I was like, where are like Traverses and Tahoes assembled? Canada? The very country that Trump is threatening to put a 50% tariff on goods from. I was like, where are transmissions assembled? Mexico. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the price of all these transmissions is going to go up 50%. And that will be passed off on the consumer. And they all were like, you can see it kind of setting in.
The wheels working, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and they're like, well, why would he do this? And then they pipe up with, well, we'll just start making him here. And I said,
Wow.
and I'm gonna throw his fucking name out. I was like, Jason, do we have any kind of manufacturing infrastructure in this country to support making transmissions for Dodge products owned by Stellantis, which is an overseas company, General Motors, and Ford? Well, I mean, we got all these empty factories. True, we do. But they would all have to be retrofitted, meaning they'd have to, you know, pass a safety standard, which I know this administration is probably going to do away with. But you would still have to ensure that this building will remain standing. You would have to put in the machinery, you know, the assembly line to move this product from point 1 to point 2 to point 3 until final assembly. You'd have to train the people. You would have to negotiate the fucking union contracts.
Yeah, and you're not paying them $5 a decade like you're paying in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. I was like, the price of everything will go up. And I was like, even more to the point, we need steel to build transmissions in the United States. I was like, say it takes 6 years to get these factories up and running. Where are we going to get the steel from, Jason? U.S. Steel still a thing. Absolutely.
Sure.
What's their market share of steel around the globe?
Not as big as China.
And he's like, what, 15, 20%? I was like, 8%. And I was like, do you want to know why? And he's like, because they make it cheaper overseas. I'm like, to a point, yes. But I was like, you know what we do not have here anymore? The raw material to process steel.
Mm-hmm.
We tapped that fucking vein a long time ago. I was like, so where are we getting the steel from? We're going to have to import it. I was like, dude, all this shit is going to is just going to raise prices. And I was like, on top of that. And then he's like, well, food, we're going to get rid of these undocumented folks. And that means that's going to be jobs for Americans.
They didn't say that seriously, did they?
Yes. And I said, dude, they abuse farm workers and have for decades.
You should show them the what happened when they tried to use prison labor in the South.
Dude, that was brought up too. Well, they make underwear for Victoria's Secret. Why can't they pick our food?
Okay. Those are different things.
And I was like, that is still horribly exploited labor. Well, they're prisoners. They don't matter. They're human beings, dude.
Let's just say they don't matter for all intents and purposes. Let's just use that theory. You already tried and it didn't work out well. You can't just throw someone out there that has no experience, doesn't know what they're doing,
mm-hmm.
and then say, stay up to the same standard that these people that have been doing it for generations.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like they get excited. Well, they're putting a bill to get rid of the income tax. We're going to live off tariffs. I was like, no, we won't. I was like, have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off? And they were like, yeah, like 25 years ago. I was like, why don't you go ahead and rewatch the first 10 minutes of that movie and listen to Ben Stein? And I was like, this will be the only time I ever tell you to listen to Ben Stein. But listen.
That's right. He's talking about trickle-down economics, isn't he?
He's talking about the Hawley tariffs, or the Harley tariffs back that literally led it to the Depression. You know, like Americans have no idea what we're in store for. You know, so I'm not going to sit here and be doom and gloom. I refuse to do that. There's enough of that going on right now. There are people in a lot worse positions than I am. You know, I'm saying this as a fucking straight white dude in the United States. But I will tell you this, be empathetic, find your community, and be prepared. You know, this is not going to be a good thing. And, you know, Jason, you brought up a good point about the Latino voters that voted for Trump. When they start seeing some of their family members being ripped out of the house, you know, at midnight,
It's already happening.
Yeah.
There's literally already people that are like, oh, my wife had an appointment
Mhm.
and she got arrested. It's like, this was going to be for a minute. You know, the money, we've talked about this on the show several times.
Hold on, Tony. I know, but Smoot Hawley did have a direct effect on the Depression, and the Smoot Hawley tariffs are directly tied to capitalism. We can shoot this all night, but you're absolutely right. It's inherent to capitalism. Capitalism is bad. We all know that here. But I mean, I'm trying to talk to people that literally had no idea what a fucking tariff was, trying to explain to me why it was a good thing. You know, so it's nonsense. But go ahead, Jason. I didn't mean to interrupt, man.
No, I forgot what I was going to say anyway. It's
Oh,
relevant. But it's late.
yeah, and your boy's got to get up and lift.
You got to get up and get buff.
Ooh, dude, it's part of being prepared, y'all. Body armor's not light. I'm just saying.
I'm going to the States on Friday, so I'm a little nervous. I'm not driving. I'm going to walk across and take a Uber.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Going to see my guitar player for the first time in like 4 years. Very excited. He's on tour. I think he's coming around your way. If he does, I'll hook you up.
Good. Definitely do it. I'm trying to expand my circle of friends. And Kush, I have been enhanced. You just can't see it because you only get this part of me. So it's not quite Saquon big. But
dude, I did so much research on steroids over the last few months.
no, don't do that.
Well, no, I wasn't going to. It was for a paper about young people using steroids. Oh,
dude,
oh.
When I was in Afghanistan the first time, like you would go to the shitters, and keep in mind this is like woods, like just wood contraptions over a cut in half oil barrel, and with just hypodermic needles everywhere because people were using steroids.
For what?
Dude, because you're moving 20 to 40 kilometers a day with over 150 pounds just in your bag on your back, not accounting your body armor. So like dudes got fucking yoked just to try and keep up with the mission tempo. And on top of that, my first deployment, we're in RC East, dude. That's the foothills of the Himalayas, man. When you touch down in Bagram, which is the lowest point, you're 6,000 feet above sea level. Dude, I got off the plane and was like this, dude, like...
But not the juice. Not the juice is loose.
Yeah, dude, I'm all natural.
Can't
I am fed by communist theory, expensive protein powder, collagen, and Red Bull. That's how I keep all this going.
Protein powder is rather expensive. I do not take it.
Dude, I bought like a 6-pound bag for $90. It's got over 200 servings in it. I'm fucking gold for the next little bit, man.
I'm trying to do it without all the powders and shit, and it's not working out for me the way I hoped it would.
Well, dude, you've got to get some muscle on you, because when the thing hits, you can bring your frother. I don't care. Okay, but you're gonna carry some weight. All right, that's just how it goes. You can have your frother in your little pouch, and then I won't even expect you to fire a weapon. You'll just carry the ammo. And I'll be like, Jason, you can just, get the ammo out of your bag.
Mac, I have to show you.
JC, I do know how to garden. I like to grow my own greens. I grow a lot of stuff. Jalapenos, green beans, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes.
Greens, beans, tomatoes.
That's right. I mean, those are all very, you can just eat them on the go. They may not be the best, but.
Before we go, Mac, you have to witness the awesomeness of Gai Tang.
What the fuck is Gai Tang?
I don't know, but it showed up on my algorithm and now it's fucked.
And I won't break, do whatever it takes, find my way.
Okay, Jason, pause it. That lead singer looks like he wrestles in NJPW. Like yeah, that. This is definitely a professional wrestler moonlighting as a singer.
He's a professional hairstylist.
That's a wrestler. That's a fucking wrestler.
He's
Tony Khan is getting ready to sign him to AEW like right now.
He's a professional hairstylist.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
Turned
it.
singer.
That's a pro wrestler that does singing on the side.
And someone wrote a comment that said he whispered the shit out of that song.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the right here. I don't buy the hairdresser.
I mean, listen to these uplifting lyrics.
No one won't give up the fight. Find my way. Break away from the struggles. Release me.
That is awful. That is so bad. Yeah. I'm going to see him on Collision next week wrestling Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor title. Yeah.
Hairdresser.
And then when he wins the belt, he's going to be like, my breakaway.
He's got a video where he's got jorts and matching jutes.
I know jutes as people from Jutland. You know, it's part of Denmark, I believe.
Someone said that's what Dashboard Confessional sounded like to me. in
JC, yeah.
middle school.
Mhm. I feel the same way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who wrote that guy? Dang. Guy. Jute sounds anti-Semitic, says Eric.
Yeah, it kind of does. Like maybe somebody from Sweden who's got like a really thick accent. Yo, Sven, why are you running around with a swastika on? I don't like the jutes.
How can you jutes? Oh my god!
All right, chat. This is the very episode that really put the nail into the coffin of Jason and I's potential to get a big show.
Dugan wrote against the Jutes. Oh my god!
Like, it's gonna be funny. Something like leftist radio is gonna like call us Jason. They're like, "We think your guys' show is great, but we're gonna need to dig a little more into it." And then they see this shit, and they're gonna be like, "No, absolutely not." No. You had us at the sports ball talk and a little bit of the exposition about what could potentially happen in the Trump administration, but when we start talking about jutes, no.
German. We turn into German antis. Now I want to show you the video with the jutes so you can see what I'm talking about. Look, it's hair. He's a hairdresser.
He's not. I'm telling you, this is all.
Look at the hair. He's washing someone's hair.
You don't see his face. It's all a facade.
He's eating Asian food.
It's because he wrestles in Japan.
Look. I gotta find the jute. Look at all these hair videos. That's how buff he is. Look how buff he is.
Again, professional wrestler.
He's doing hair at a hair show.
I'm not buying it. I don't see his face doing any of this shit.
I gotta find the video with the jutes though. The jutes video is this is it. This is the jutes.
Jason, this is all part of his character.
The sky is broken.
Look at
The sun doesn't shine.
Wow.
Without you next to me, I'm losing my mind.
He really has denim Captain America boots.
I told you. I told you. I told you.
That is awful.
That black fella and that old rum, this ain't right, but at least they hate the Jews. Mac, you know what's great about this dude? He responds to the mean comments.
Oh, I feel like that's. I don't want to do that.
Kushlick says, Jason, this isn't far from
Kush, don't say that because he's gonna show up in like one of those that bedazzled jean jackets that Guy Tang's wearing right now. He's gonna hit him up and be like, "Hey man, can I get that jacket?" And he's gonna like overnight it. To
Look
Jason.
at G Tizzle. Let's just call him G Tizzle from now
Right.
on.
You
And I
know?
gave you my heart, but now that we're apart, how can I go on? Remember the time when we were so close.
Can you imagine going to somebody, hey, do I know you from the Guy Tang video?
Oh God. You know that bald dude? He wears a wig when he's home, so people don't recognize him. Because you know his agent. You know, I can already hear the conversation. Joe, hey man, how are you? How are you? Hey, I'm good, man. Like, I really need some work. I got a perfect gig for you. How would you like to play in Japan? I've always wanted to go, man. Like, when can I go? Actually, tomorrow. I got a flight for you. You're gonna be playing bass for a man named Guy Tang. What? Hey, wait! He hung up. What do I do? Guy gets into Osaka and he's like, you know, there's somebody's there to pick him up. He meets Guy Tang and he's like, so how much am I getting paid? And he's like, I'm getting paid in yen? What the fuck?
He's getting paid in hair weaves and fucking denim shoes.
Jason, if a long butt girl came up to you saying she was part of the Guy Tang group, would you date her?
This is what I would say.
Because I nut quick.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would.
After one long night of coitus where Jason almost breaks his pelvis from slamming into that tailbone as hard as he can, he's going to roll over and be like, baby, I need that Guy Tang jacket. And you know the one I'm talking about. It's bedazzled.
Kushlick says he's getting paid in Vietnamese. Dong.
Well, Kush, if this is Jason and I's nail in our coffin, you're right next to us. So
The things Kush has been saying.
dude, Kush is on a heater right now.
He is on a fucking heater.
Just
God damn.
Kush, you're on top of your game today.
This is
Really
you
are.
haven't been this funny in a long fucking time, dude. Oh. I mean, Guy Tang isn't very good.
What are you talking about? He's the head of the Guy Tang clan.
Is this the thing back? That's not like this. It's like this. It's just this. It's just.
It represents dong. It's what I pay all my musicians in.
Kush is taking Pascal's pre-workout. Kush is Tang Gang for life.
Remember,
Tang Gang.
Remember,
Tang Gang.
Wu-Tang's for the kids, but the Tang Gang, maybe not.
Maybe not. That's the saying. Wu-Tang may be for the children, but the Tang Gang is not.
No. Tang Gang, adults only. Okay.
Tang Gang, Tang Gang. Of all the things I don't want people to say to me randomly in public if they ever see me, this is pretty high on the list. Next to "we're coming for you" N-word. I definitely don't want someone to yell.
Well, I could already see like the next thing we do,
Uh,
and we do like a question and answer thing afterwards, and somebody just stands up and is like, "Hey Jason, I love the show Tangang," and just like dips.
The sad thing is,
Like
I just
Jason
had
and I are sitting up front holding the microphone, like, what the fuck? Oh god! it came
oh,
back
and
to get us.
everyone just stands up like this. Nah, Tangang, Tangang.
No, Mercutio, no. Eventually, a sex tape will release of Hawk to a girl telling people she spit on that tang.
Spit on that tang. Oh no! Like what?
The collaboration we didn't want, the collaboration we didn't need. The Hawk to a Tang Gang leader sex tape.
That's why she's hiding.
Yeah, it's not the crypto fucking.
No, it's the
bullshit
Tang
did.
Gang, dude.
It's that Tang Gang's been running gangbangs on Hawk to a girl.
Tang Gang back again.
Just giving her that dong, you know?
Can somebody get a picture of Wu-Tang and superimpose Guy Tang's face on everybody in Wu-Tang? And then have a Tang Gang clan, and then
Oh my god.
and then you do this somehow. You find a way to do this because or you just got Tang Gang. I feel like watching a Tang Gang porn would really weird my friends out.
Listen, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish that on Christy Nome or Lauren Boebert to be gangbanged by this group of butt fucks playing these awful ballads.
He wants me to show you the mermaid thing. They kept saying, hey, did a mermaid thing. I was like, fuck are you guys talking about? Mermaid shit. And this is the first time I've been on Tang's. And you can see this, right?
Yeah.
Submarine.
Oh my god.
Merman, father, merman.
Yeah, that's it. That's the last good night of sleep I had was last night. That'll be haunting my dreams for the rest of my life.
Never go to a gangbang at the Tang Gang hideout.
No. No. Because you're going to be exhausted after having all that dong in you and wake up with a bunch of hair extensions and your makeup done, right? Like that's just...
Moisture is the essence of wet.
What the fuck, Jason?
That's what he says in that movie, Zoolander. When my son's acting like a mermaid. Merman, father, merman.
Oh gosh.
Dude, whoever, if you're listening to this on audio and you're like, oh, it was interesting to the end part, they're just giggling and laughing at something I can't see. It's on YouTube. Just go back and watch it. It's worth it to fast forward to 2 hours and 20 minutes in to see the Guy Tang mermaid video.
Yeah, it's
worth it.
It's haunting. It is. You'll never be able to look at Daryl Hannah flash the same way again.
Or Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
He's kind of a mix of both.
God, Daryl Hannah was so gorgeous in that movie.
Yeah, but he's like Momoa Hannah.
That was a stretch.
Well, you know it's a stretch.
Lost somewhere in the deep, with the surface out of my reach.
Okay, so this dude has got to be a really good hairdresser if he's able to self-finance all these videos.
He's a hairdresser to the stars, apparently.
Well, yeah.
He's winning. He's got 2.3 million followers.
What?
Did he buy the majority of them? Probably.
Some days I think we have 2.3 followers, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
then we have a chat full of just absolute gems.
Today is a good chat day.
Even though they called me a rummist, which I'm still.
That's who you are at this point, brother. It's just who you are.
Don't make me don't make me go on a rant about rum again. Don't make me do that. You know what? I'm not, because it's just gonna buy into all your rumism talk. I love rum. It's delicious.
I have rum friends.
And I do. I have rum friends. I drink rum drinks.
I have rum friends. My priest at my wedding was rum.
His last name was Bacardi. Okay.
One of my childs even brought a rum in the house.
That's right. My son's name is Sailor Jerry. Okay. My daughter's name is Kraken. What's another horrible rum? Like, what's...
So, hey, sometimes you just are what they say you are, even if you're not. That didn't make sense, but it makes sense.
You know what?
And that didn't make sense.
That sounds a bit prophetic, actually, you know? So I'm just going to lean into it. You know, it's okay. It's all right. You know what? I'm a rummist.
The rummist, the fact that you're a rummist and the Tang Gang is a thing. I feel like today doesn't suck.
No. And if I didn't have to work or go to the gym tomorrow, I would just go drink a whole mess of rum just to lean in, you know?
Yeah, just to prove
Yeah.
your point. And
Yeah.
him drinking rum is like David Duke just shaking a lot of black hands.
That's like David Duke kissing a black woman full on the lips.
Oof, that poor woman.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he doesn't have any lips to begin with. She would just be like having his teeth pressed into her lips. And she's like, oh, God, you taste like cigarettes and shame, David Duke. And he puts his hood down. There ain't no shame here. White power.
And good night.
And that's really how we get kicked off YouTube, Jason.
Yeah,
White guy
just
says
like,
it.
did you just say white power? Like, there's so many words apparently you can't say. Like, he unalived himself. Why can't you say suicide? It's not a bad word.
Yeah.
YouTube might ban us. If they're banning you for saying that, then fuck YouTube.
Yeah,
Jesus.
dude, it's getting ridiculous. Before we go, like, I don't know if you saw, but Google in the United States is changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America, yeah.
Yeah, in the Google Maps app. And I'm like, why?
Well, people forget about freedom fries.
I don't forget, because that was the dumbest shit I ever heard.
It's the
Freedom
dumbest
fries
shit
and
ever.
freedom
I mean,
toast.
you remember, but a lot of people forget that for 5 seconds, that was a thing. And people were like, that's stupid. This is dumber than freedom fries.
Yeah.
And it's not like over here, it even made the news.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like I remember like one of my army buddies that was like, what are we going to call French kissing? And someone's just like kissing. Like, I don't.
Freedom kissing.
Freedom kissing.
Freedom kissing.
Have you been freed yet? Like, we're in the dumbest timeline right now. Like, just the dumbest.
Is it? Or is it just a replay of 2006 and we forgot?
I don't know what's more depressing. The fact that we're in the dumbest timeline, or you might be right. You know, like...
I think we forgot I think we forgot the Bush years. People love going back to the movie Idiocracy and forgetting it's about 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of where a guy like Mike Judge saw the country at its current moment. He wasn't being forward thinking. I think he just saw it.
Yeah.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
And
Bronco. It's what the plants want.
He can't make that movie again or a version of it for this moment because it would just be that movie. because I think we're just in that same place. A lot of people are apolitical and checked out. There's no war. It's just people are just kind of politically checked out. They don't care. And, you know, no one cares until it affects them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
the sad part. And a lot of this stuff is going to affect people in different ways. Because what the scary part is, the second time around means that everything that made you go, you're not doing that anymore because it's just common. So where's the pussy hat protest? It's not the same.
Yeah. And I keep seeing like leaflets for, 50 states, 50 protests in the state capitals. And I'm like, how many people are actually going to show up for that?
Yeah. No, it's you get used to it the second time around. And then people are going to call for the dumb guy to get out of there. And it's going to be a scary cycle for a while.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And I hate that I was right in that effect, but like, Tony can back me up. History is cyclical, man. And we're seeing shit right out of the fascist playbook in real time, and I think I find that with some irony that a country that hangs its hat on fighting in a war to eliminate fascism is suddenly openly, well, not suddenly, we've been doing this a long time, but loudly embracing it and ignoring every warning sign,
Yeah.
Great way to end the show, huh?
Well, you know what? That's why sometimes you need a little Tangang to cheer you up.
Here I stand, I won't break. Do whatever it takes.
So bad, Jason.
Find my way through
the drummer's way too into it, though. For as slow as this song is, the drummer's way too into it for as slow as this song is.
They're actors, dude. These motherfuckers are not playing those instruments.
Listen, Jake, the bald bass player, that man is playing his heart out right now, okay? Don't degrade his talent like that. He flew 18 hours to Japan to play for Guy Tang.
Mercutio says, please say some good words about me at my gooneral. If I find the gooneral clip, I will send it to you tonight. I'm not going to play it, but the gooneral, I will send it to you, because when that kid says the goonicide, he has to hold it in a laugh because it's so ridiculous.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But it's not shocking. Sometimes, I mean, dude, we watch like people get beat up by professional MMA fighters in somebody's fenced up backyard. Like, maybe to feel whole, you just have to celebrate a man committing a crime in the guise of gooning and hold a gooneral for him. Kush, I think at the service post gooneral, you're probably going to have a lot of finger foods, because if there's a heavy gooning group, I don't think they're going to be doing a lot of cooking, just a lot of hands on penis, if you get my drift. And you don't really want to be eating anything prepared with a dude who's had his hand on his dick for like 9 hours. Oh, Kush. Eggnog.
I will break. Do whatever it takes.
Do you think the Tang Gang goons?
I think the Tang Gang fucking gets whatever Tang, like, yes. I think that, no, I don't think he goons. I think the Tang Gang just fucking smash his ass. Is an ass destroyer.
It's, I hope he's making a lot of donk so he can buy that Megan Fox sex robot. He'd probably have a lot of fun with that.
I wish I had a Thelma from Good Times sex robot. I'd be so happy with that one.
Dude, I am in the midst of a dry spell, so at this point, I might even take a Fran Drescher sex doll that had the voice in there, like hotta, hotta, you know, like.
You like that woman in that clip? I ain't had no sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah, Eric, sorry, dude. I can't go out and smash ass the way you do. I'm 43. It's not just falling off the trees at me.
No, not at this age.
No, man.
No.
And the ones that
No.
are, they're so young. I'm like, no fucking.
Yeah, that's not cool.
No.
No, there's just so many problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I just go to the gym and I hang out with my kids. I win national titles with Kent State. You know, like, what can I say? No, you Roomba. Come here, Roomba. And the Roomba's like,
the Roomba.
The Roomba's like, no.
like, did you fuck the robot? Yeah, I fucked the Megan Fox robot. Yeah. Why did you think I didn't?
Yeah.
I got a robot that looks like a hot broad I wanted to fuck 20 years ago when I watched Transformers.
Yeah. Did you fuck the Roomba? You've been very cold and distant lately, so yes.
If you had a Lorenzo Lamas robot from the fucking Falcon Crest years, I can't get mad if it's dicking you down.
I didn't like Lorenzo Lamas, okay? I'm a Larry Hagman from Dallas Girl.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, JR's giving you the wood or fucking that hairy chested man. It doesn't matter. If it's a robot that looks like somebody you jerked off to, you're gonna fuck it, honey. And it's not cheating.
Like Larry comes bopping up. Hey, son, I'm gonna need you to get out of here. I gotta throw the robot dick at your wife. JR. Then I gotta go close an oil deal.
My programming says I gotta cornhole your missus.
Oh, JR robot. Oh.
Yeah,
all right.
like
It's all right, son. You can call me daddy.
What did you think was gonna happen when you had a Megan Fox robot in the house? You didn't get a fucking Esther Roll robot. You got a Megan Fox robot, okay?
Yeah, this isn't Golden Girls Betty White.
Shit.
Megan Fox.
Maybe then. And I have to say maybe then I wouldn't fuck it. But you wanted to get, just whenever you want, honey. Get the fucking Megan Fox when it's fine. The kids love her. It's Megan Fox.
Jason, you need to just make yourself a nice cup of coffee and watch that movie.
I don't have Netflix.
Where did I watch it at?
It's on Netflix, apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't have Netflix. I can't watch anything on Netflix.
I'm gonna figure out a way to get you this film.
Unless some lovely woman wants to come down here and be like, I'll show you the movie. You can use my account.
You just sound like the Predator from Family Guy.
Like the fucking Snippy now from the Linda Carter movie. I've been cutting off dicks all over town trying to find me.
Oh man.
Like, dude, if that happens, like if you hear me, if I come on the stream and I'm like, so I watched the Megan Fox fuck robot movie, and then I'm just gonna play this.
I mean, if Megan Fox, like, keep in mind, I have questions about her taste in men. Because she was married to Brian Austin Green for a long period of time and made offspring with him, and is now in a weird relationship with Machine Gun Kelly.
That's even weirder. But
Yeah.
she does like white rappers because Brian Austin Green had an album.
He did. But if given the opportunity, I wouldn't say no. I would feel dirty the next day Like I would probably take like a 20-minute shower. Like, what did I do? Oh man. Oh, Machine Gun Kelly was here first. Oh God. Just. But what are you gonna do, man?
What are you gonna do, dude? I can live with that.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. I'd be a little bit weirded out. Like, oh man, you really fuck Machine Gun Kelly? You're like, yeah. It's like, all right, well.
Jason's like, well, your butt's a little too round for me, but she's like, Jason, what kind of butt do you like? I need yoga pants, like loose in the back. Okay, that's what I'm shooting for. Yeah. Uh-oh, did we lose Jason, guys? I think we did. So before this gets any more off the rails, I have to be up in like 5 hours. So make sure you like and subscribe everywhere. If you got a couple extra bucks, head over to Patreon. Become a paying member. Let's keep Jason in oil change money. He's back. He's back. Tang Gang.
Tang Gang.
Yep.
Tang Gang.
So
Tang Gang till the wheels fall off. And
That's right.
Thank you guys. Someone wants us to talk about Shantae Spencer. They're a little late. We've been on for almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Caleb, next time, come on at 9. Throw Shantae Spencer. I'll watch like 3 videos and then say Travis Hunter's still better.
I mean, Travis Hunter's really fucking good.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He does kind of lock it down on his side of the field.
He does.
He's really, really good.
And he just seems like a good kid.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about the whole girlfriend thing because I don't even want to talk about that.
I didn't even know he had a girlfriend.
It's a mess.
Oh, okay. Something to Google tomorrow when I'm pretending to work.
Oh my God. It's bad. It's like, hey, how can you just be a social media phenomenon for not even being maybe with the best college player in the last 10, 15 years? Oh, you have the most uncomfortable relationship. Awesome.
Oh, fun. Yay. Tang Gang for life.
Tang Gang. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow where we'll have a very depressing episode about the failure of the anti-war movement with Arturo Desimone.
Oh God, that's gonna be fun.
More fun than you think. Tang Gang.